WandaVision. WandaVision.
Whosoever hears this audio, if they be worthy, shall possess the insight, human, and superhuman abilities of the world's mightiest metahumans. Accompanying this journey of high quality nerds commentary, we got my man Colton, aka Visa Parker, talks to the people.
Yo, it's your boy Colton, aka I don't know which Quicksilver I am, but I'm one of them because I got super speed, aka Wiccan and Little Speedy Boy, aka goddamn, this hex is too goddamn big. Why you finna make it bigger? Aka WandaVision is gas.
Speaking of gas, the greatest engineer in the entire multiverse, my man Jamal, say what's up.
What's up? What's going on? Oh, y'all.
Chilling. And it's your boy Dennis, aka Old Dirty Dennis, aka this is a Jimmy Woo stand account, aka Your Fisto, aka Cap Tim's Rambo, aka aka Dennis Vision. You feel me? Because basically this whole pod is part of my imagination.
Free vision, man. Free vision. That man just want to die. That's
I'm
it.
saying, son, he's Jon Snow.
That man been dying forever and just coming back and just like, yo, can y'all just let me rest in peace?
Yo, so welcome to another edition of the Mighty Metahumans podcast. How y'all fellas feeling?
Hey, I'm feeling great, man. We haven't done this in a little while. And,
Yeah, you know what I mean?
it just feels good to be back.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Got to stretch the arms out,
right.
stretch the legs out. Yeah, so, for this episode, as anybody that's currently listening, WandaVision has premiered already. And we're about 6 episodes in. So we're going to do like a little review, you know what I mean? We're going to kind of rush through like the earlier episodes, give our little opinions, and then we're going to talk about the current episode and kind of break down like, theories. I know Pizza Parker got some theories.
Oh man,
I know he got
that.
some theory, and I got some bars for
You
y'all.
know
So
that.
you know what I mean?
So, but we're gonna wait until the end of like the little mini
Breakdown.
description of the episodes.
Yeah. So all right. So let's start off with episode 1. Give me your initial opinions when you first saw that episode.
Okay.
Starting the whole 50s sitcom.
So I have the synopsis of the episode right now.
Okay.
So I'll like just read off some quick points just in case the people haven't watched the episode, but I know they will. Brief summary. You feel me? Newlywed couple Wanda and Vision, they move into a town of Westview in the 1950s setting,
Yeah.
Despite Vision being an android and Wanda having, this is in the official wiki, telekinesis and reality warping abilities.
Yes.
They attempt to blend in, right? That's the whole episode where he tries to impress his boss.
Yeah.
And they go have the dinner. And he also meets like everybody else in town. We meet Agnes. And it's still super sitcom-y.
Yes.
At this point.
Yeah.
So
it's very like I Love Lucy.
Yeah.
I Dream of Jeannie.
Definitely I Love Lucy style of the TV show. So I do remember that. What was the part? There was a part of that episode where they were having dinner and they're talking about their story.
Yes.
And that's the part where it gets like really fucking weird.
Yeah.
Where like she's like, tell me where you're from and tell me who you guys are. And they kind of don't remember.
Exactly.
And like, I also like the part, like they kept kind of like slowly but surely hit us with like little facts.
Hints.
Like he's like, my wife's Sokovian. And I'm just like, I remember that, but like, I don't remember anything
One thing
else.
I definitely thought was really interesting is the fact that Vision works for a company just called Computational Services, which is something like literally a robot.
And they literally keep calling him a computer. They're like, it's like you're a computer.
Exactly. And he even asked them, like, what do we do here? And they're just like, we take care of paperwork. They don't actually tell him
They don't know
what he does at this job.
I don't.
And it's just really weird. But
that, yeah. Also, him using the powers on the boss.
Yeah,
to take the food out.
Yeah.
When Wanda was like, do it. And then he did it. And then they just somehow, like, I guess, snapped back to normal.
Right.
And then we never see them again.
Well, we see
the husband, right?
Yeah. No, we don't see the husband anymore.
We see the wife.
The wife is in episode 2. Yeah.
We're getting to episode 2.
Yeah.
So the name of that episode was Filmed Before a Live Studio Audience.
Yeah.
And that was in the 50s.
And one thing that I do want people to keep in mind while we're doing these summaries is every one of the commercials. So that first commercial was the Stark Industries Toastmate 2000.
Which made the
the same sound of the bomb. Yeah,
The same sound as the bomb, and also the same Iron Man like repulsor sound.
Yep.
That the Stark engine type sound, I guess
Yeah,
you could
yeah,
hear.
yeah.
And also the beeping was really the bomb like shit,
Yeah,
which was what happened in
Sokovia.
in Sokovia.
Yeah. They lost their parents and friends and family and all
And
that.
it was Stark.
Yeah, Stark
Remember,
Industry.
they was upset.
Yeah.
They was so upset about Stark. They just wanted to kill him in Ultron. He was like, Stark, the bomb, it
Bruh.
didn't go off.
And
I remember, I look at the left, I hold my sister, and it said Stark. We must kill Tony Stark.
And two definitely final important pieces at the very end is where they show the hand, but we never know whose hand that is.
Whose hand is that?
That's watching on that watching them on the TV screen.
Yeah.
And we do see the sword logo. They don't mention in detail that it is sword, but we do see the logo.
We
And
do
if you're
see
a
the
fan,
sword logo.
Yeah, if you're a fan, you know
what
that's
that is.
yeah, you know what that is. And
So-
yeah, I mean we can move on to the next
Skip
one.
into episode 2.
Sam
Don't.
L is back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel me? In space.
Space niggas.
Number 2. We talking about episode 2. Don't touch that dial. It's
Mhm.
in a 1960s setting. This is the more I Dream of Jeannie type of stuff.
Yeah,
Bewitched type of things. You know, they hear strange noises outside their house. And they're like, what the fuck is this noise? It keeps sounding like banging or explosions, like something's
Yeah.
hitting it, and then they see like a tree branch.
It's
We
not a
keep
tree
that,
branch.
keep that in your mind. Keep that in your mind.
Keep that in
right?
your mental.
So then they have to prepare for the magic act,
Yes.
the town magic act.
Yes.
And
yes.
this part
is
was
very
like
interesting to me.
pretty interesting dialogue. And then Wanda and Agnes also talks about doing the plan committee with Dottie. And this
Yes.
is when the episode gets real fucking trippy. You want to talk about this? What notes?
Okay.
Do you have
All
any
right.
notes
Yes,
towards that?
Yes. So definitely that whole committee thing. Just the way they put that dialogue together, where Dottie was like, "There's the devil in the details." That kind of sparked my interest.
Yes, very crazy.
And then
And hold on. And not only that, but the rebuttal by Agnes. That's not
Yes.
the only thing the devil's in.
Yes. I was going to come to that. That was definitely next. Let's see what else they had. They definitely had Geraldine didn't know her name. If you
Yeah, she was
rewatch
very
that scene,
confused.
when she asked her who she was, she paused for a minute until she shook her hand, and then she said,
And then she knew.
exactly.
Keep that in your head also, people.
Keep these little details in your head. Like they're throwing little things in there that's very interesting. Let's see what
Oh
else.
yeah.
happened?
Also, when she was befriending Geraldine before that, remember she seen the helicopter, the little
Yes,
toy
yeah,
red and yellow
and
helicopter
that was the only thing that was in color so
with the
far.
sword logo.
Yeah, that's the
Remember
only thing
that.
that's in color for the first 2 episodes.
Yep.
Very strange.
Until when she met Dottie,
yes.
and then there
was
was
a sound on the
weird
radio.
sound wave on the radio. They're like, "Who's doing this to you, Wanda? Who's doing this to you, Wanda?" And then
the girl cut her hand.
Dottie was telling her, like blaming her for like basically everything that was
Yeah,
going
and
on.
then-
Then she cut her hand,
And then
there
all of a
was
sudden it just disappeared.
red blood,
Uh-huh.
and then it disappeared, and then Dottie goes back to her regular act, I guess.
Exactly. And then jumping forward, the next commercial, Strucker Switch Watch.
Strucker.
Very interesting as well.
That's an interesting
this-
Hydra name.
there's the same name as Baron Von Strucker from Age of Ultron, who was responsible
For giving them powers.
yeah, experimenting on the kids in the first place. And he's also tied to AIM. Very interesting.
True. Very interesting.
Which, by the way, we haven't really covered so far. If you look at the intros for those first 2 episodes, there's a lot of hexagons in those episodes.
a lot of hexagons.
And if you know AIM, that's the shape of the AIM logo.
True. I think they're trying to set up Hayward to probably be like a person that works in AIM.
I do feel
I think
like
he's
that.
trying to. Oh, but we could get that later. But basically,
Yeah. Put a pin in it. Put
Apart
a
that
pin
out, put a pin in it. In the crazy conspiracy board.
Yeah.
Also, hilariously enough, in that episode, Vision chewing the gum and getting drunk. It was very fucking funny to me. And him just wilding with his powers and Wanda
Yes.
just trying to make it seem like a trick every time was like one of the first clues to what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like Vision will wild out. Everyone's like, how the fuck is he doing that?
And she
then
covers it
Wanda
up.
would cover it up very wildly still.
Yeah.
Like rope would appear out of nowhere and hold him up. Like
And they
I would
don't
still be
question
like,
it.
what the fuck was that? But then everyone's just like, okay, that makes sense. It's practical now. And that was like, that's weird. And then at the end of the episode, the beekeeper.
Yes. So up until this point, we had no idea what that was. I mean, you can take guesses, but clear there was a person in a bee suit with a modified logo on his back that just came out of the sewer. And as he turns around and looks at Wanda, she just says no. And all of a sudden, he disappears. They're back in the house, and it's like it never happened.
Wanda resets reality, and then it becomes the 70s. Color comes in, and then it changes to the 70s.
Very, very, very interesting. One thing to go back before we skip to the next episode, when they're doing that entire performance for the town, the sign at the top literally says "for the children," but we never see children.
Never see children. And
2
they keep
episodes
saying
so
for
far.
the children also.
Yeah, this
which
was
is some
for
cult
children.
type shit. Like
very, very interesting. We never see kids up until that point. Even though
put a
this
point
was
on
for
the
children.
conspiracy board, guys. Put a pin.
Put a pin. Put another pin. We're gonna come back to all of that.
All right, episode 3 is Now in Color. That's
Yes.
self-explanatory
Yes.
name. Now in the 1970s, we're looking at
It's kind of Brady
like
Bunch.
Brady Bunch, Three's a Company type John. So 1970s setting, and Dr. Nielsen checks. Oh, I forgot. At the end of the last episode, she becomes visibly pregnant out of nowhere.
Yeah, because they wanted kids, and
They wanted kids, and then
decided to make
she hit a
kids.
circle, and then she was pregnant.
Mhm.
So now this is the shit where the doctor comes in and he's like checking on her pregnancy and shit, right?
Yeah.
He's like, everything's gonna be fine, but he's supposed to go leave for a holiday with his wife.
Yes.
Keep that. That's important. While
Keep
Vision sees Nielsen out, he sees his neighbor Herb cutting his wall,
This is very interesting as
which
well.
is like, what's happening here? Like
It's like a
is
glitch
this
in the
nigga
Matrix.
glitching in the Matrix right now. Like, and then Wanda and Vision, they're painting their nursery while debating the name of the child. Right?
Mm-hmm.
She begins contractions, and her ability begins to fuck the entire crib up.
Yeah.
Like,
Not even just the crib, the power in the whole neighborhood.
facts. And then that's when Vision runs off to go get the doctor, right?
Yeah.
And Geraldine comes in.
This was also very interesting.
Very interesting. Geraldine
I
walks
just like
in.
how they put this whole thing together, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like very perfect. Like Wanda can never really be by herself.
yeah.
And they made it so that she's never really by herself, which makes me think it's not really only her, but we're gonna put a conspiracy on that.
We're gonna get to that.
Geraldine arrives and she's kind of being weird, but at the same time, like she kind of understands what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, she's really happy about her job, and they kind of do a good job of like that quirky. There's a stork running around, but she never sees it, and Wanda's always covering up.
Quick thing about the stork: magic doesn't work on the stork. Why? Magic did not work on the stork. Magic did not work on the stork. She kept trying to poof the stork out of existence, the shit kept.
I have a theory on that. I'm gonna put that on the board.
We're gonna put that also that pin also on the board because I also have one too. But
yeah.
So
this scene gets tense with her and Wanda.
Yeah, because Geraldine like helps deliver the babies, the twins.
Yes.
But the whole house is really fucking shaking, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is like a real intense anxiety-inducing moment when you realize there's a lot more happening than what we think is happening. Because then Vision also goes outside, and then he's talking to Agnes and Herb, and they're gossiping, and they're saying shit like, "You see, she just had the baby. You seen that? She had the baby.
Yeah.
She was just like."
And he was like, "Yo, what are y'all talking about?"
And he was like, "What's good? What are y'all talking about?" And then Agnes is kind of deflecting.
Here's the thing about Agnes, especially if you're listening to this episode right now. Pay attention to how she just interacts with specifically Vision.
Yes.
It always feels like she's guiding him
somewhere. Put a motherfucking pin on that one. Put a big pin on that one. Because this is coming back for episode 6.
Yes.
Oh man, we in the same motherfucking wavelength. We right here. We right here. Yo, Gas is the greatest engineer. He made sure niggas' eyes are eye.
Exact.
We figured out what the fuck is going on. All right, yeah, true. Right?
So yeah. So that moment does get very
He's
tense.
asking, what's going on? What's going on?
And she's like, you left her with
You
Geraldine
left her with Geraldine alone. And like
he's like,
Vision is like, what are y'all talking about? Like, what's
what is
going
that?
on? And then
Before he gets back, they have their little confrontation, which I thought was great acting just for that scene. Because she talks about her brother.
Oh, she says, when they was looking at the babies, she said, I had a brother.
Yeah.
His name is Pietro. And then Geraldine does the ultimate fuck up and go, he was killed by Ultron, right?
Wasn't he? And
then
she was like, what did you say?
Then Wanda said, wait a minute, what?
And
then Geraldine was like, nah, I mean, like.
She was like, no, you have such a strong baby.
Such a strong baby. Your babies are strong. And then Wanda was like, nah, bitch. How the fuck you know my brother got smoked?
You the ops.
Why you bringing up Ultron? Who's Ultron? Why you bringing up Ultron? You gonna come to my birthday with a birthday gift on my birthday with a birthday gift to my birthday party on my birthday with a birthday gift? And
I
then
don't like that shit.
Then she blasted that bitch out the fucking axe. She fucking hit her with the shabuliku bow wow. Nigga, she hit the little hand twicky twirl flippy floop with the red, and niggas knew it was over.
How you get kicked out the sitcom?
She got kicked out of the fucking sitcom,
she got kicked out like Shorty from Mandalorians.
I'm confused as to how many people are real still.
Oh, everybody in there is
everybody's
real besides the twins.
Yeah.
And I'm also still not sure about Agnes because she hasn't been ID'd yet.
I have a theory. I have plenty theories.
So you think it's an actual town that she just took
it is.
over?
Yeah,
I mean, it is an actual town, but she just took that shit over.
She just took that shit over and fucking took control of everybody's mind. But we're gonna get to episode 6, Jamal, and we're gonna explain why that is, right?
Episode 6 is gonna cover
is the one that kind of covers everything up. But that is a good question. Put that on the board.
But put
it on the board.
We're gonna have a crazy callback to all of
this.
So
she pushes her out. Boom. She gets fucking knocked the fuck out.
Yeah. Vision comes back.
Vision comes back inside. And he's like, where's Geraldine?
Like, oh, she's
like,
she left.
She had to go. And then now we get introduced to what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Because now Geraldine is in the outside real world. In her 70s clothing, surrounded by SWORD agents, nigga.
And that's how the episode
And if we're gonna get to the commercial, Hydra Soak. Hydra Soak bath powder.
Very interesting because that kind of reminds me of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah.
That is the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Come up. Remember they was like mind control soap?
Yep. Yeah.
Fuck.
Hydra,
yeah.
Yep. More hints.
I think like they keep bringing up Hydra and like Stark and shit because of like the Sokovian Pass. Hydra has like a big. They made them basically.
This was Red Skull.
Red Skull and Strucker.
This was General a big Strucker. Thing in her subconscious.
Yeah, and not only that, but I truly believe that Hayward is either a AIM or a Hydra agent.
100%.
Like. Because he be moving really crazy.
He moved like the ops.
And we're going to talk about this episode because there's a very good part in this episode.
There's a lot of interesting things in this episode.
Marvel uses language in kind of a specific way or do cuts of people saying things in a specific way that I felt like gave me some information about shit. Yeah. So we move on to the next episode. We interrupt this program, which is episode 4.
Which was a good name just to interrupt how they were.
That's a fact. Because now we're back in the real world.
Exactly.
Right? So now Monica Rambeau, a.k.a. Monica Rambeau. Love that girl. What's good? I'm so happy you came back from the blip.
That was a crazy intro.
Yeah, but that entrance scene should win an Emmy. Just that entrance scene.
That was a great intro.
The wave of chaos that if like just people just rematerialize the last place they were 3 years ago.
In a hospital.
Or just anywhere. Like the way it was happening, people just yelling, like people just showing up in other people's hospital beds.
Right.
Like all types of crazy shit. Like, so she wakes up in the hospital. She is running around because I think she was waiting for her mom.
Yeah.
Because her mom had cancer, and then they said it was in remission, and then the blip happened, and then she's been gone for 3 years, and then her mom's cancer came back, and her mom died. She finds out her mom died of cancer, right?
Which I think is an interesting thing because they definitely said the cancer killed her mom 3 years ago, 2 years after she snapped away.
Yeah.
That's some interesting math.
Yeah. That's crazy. But now 3 weeks later, Monica returns to work, and she's basically sent by the acting director Hayward. Fuck that guy. I hate that guy. To help my guy Jimmy Woo stand account with a missing case in Westview, New Jersey.
Now,
so that answers your question, Jamal, about like the people, right?
Now,
so I think she took control of Westview and just named it Eastview. So all those people are people from Westview, New Jersey.
Yeah. All right. So there's like right before that happens, I feel like they were trying to give us a lot of information about Sword. One, Monica's mom was partly responsible, Maria.
Facts. Maria.
For setting up Sword, which means that there's some sort of story that happens there between Captain Marvel when she meets Captain Marvel and where she sets that up.
I'm guessing in my mind, in Captain Marvel, when Maria and Captain Marvel actually met up, they did like their adventures together. I'm guessing at some point Maria linked up with Nick Fury OD.
Yeah.
And
because that explains how he already has
he's already
Sword
in space and shit. I'm guessing that him and Maria made Sword.
I see that.
And like her being like a pilot, like a flight person anyway, she'll probably be the best person to like make like a fucking space.
And those two basically being the closest to Captain Marvel makes the most sense for them to have the
Sword
space
Shield,
version.
Man. Sword and Shield
makes perfect sense.
So yeah, basically Jimmy Woo pulls up, and then it finally happens, y'all. His arc, his redemption arc. He learns the card trick. And he does the fucking card trick that he learned from Ant-Man. And it was fucking amazing. So as they're there, they discover that they're in Westview, New Jersey, and they're talking to these cops. But when they pull up to Westview, there's a fucking some type of force field. They're like, what is this hexagonal static cosmic radiation shit going on, man?
Because the cops there say that Westview doesn't exist. Like, there's no such thing as a Westview.
Yeah, they was like, there's no, they said Eastview don't exist, right? Is that what they was calling it, Eastview?
I think they were in Eastview.
Oh, they're from Eastview, and they were calling it Westview.
And they were like, why? What is a Westview? Like, what is that?
Yeah.
And no one can go in.
So, yeah, she gets kind of out of hand, especially with that. And then we find out that they need specialists to figure out what's going on.
Yes.
Enters Darcy Lewis from the Thor movies.
Yeah, from the movies no one really watched.
For no one, I watched it over recently. It was like, oh, that's where she's from.
Yeah.
And enter Darcy Lewis, who is there to figure out like the radiation thing specialist.
Yeah. So she specializes in like the type of radiation that comes out of like microwaves and stuff like that, and she tracks the wavelengths. So
facts.
She was actually looking at Wanda's wavelength, and that's how she figured out that it can be
manipulated.
Or
she can send a message and shit through.
Yeah, she can send, not even just send, but she can receive. And that's how she figured out to use the television, the old school TVs, because they pick up that type of wavelength that the newer TVs don't. So that's how she was able to find that. And then they noticed that she's having her own fucking sitcom in this little hexagon thing that she has going on. And that's how they started watching that shit.
Facts. So at first they were listening, and then they figured out they needed like a fucking TV to watch what was going on. And then I think that's where we figure out what the hand was. The hand that was watching it.
The
from
hand
the earlier episode.
was Darcy's hand.
So we take that pin off.
Mm-hmm.
It was Darcy's hand watching it because she figured out a way to watch what's going on in the inside.
Yeah.
She also figured out that what we can see from now is that Wanda seems to have casted everyone in a specific role.
Yeah.
And
she also noticed that while they were watching this, certain parts would like cut
off,
and skip, like we were just talking about earlier with Dottie and getting her hand cut. So they weren't sure who was doing it, but someone was clearly getting the broadcast and like editing it.
True. We also figured out that the beekeeper was someone they sent in, a Sword agent that was sent in through the sewers
underground,
to try to see if he could get there without being bothered.
Mm-hmm.
And you've seen how that go. We don't even know where that guy is, honestly, to be 100% honest.
Just lost at this point.
And I also remember they were trying the radio message that she heard, who's doing this to Wanda, was Jimmy Woo, trying to get through with Darcy's help.
Yeah.
And then then they go to at the very end, they go back to the perspective of Wanda after she kicked Monica out of the crib.
I like the wording that they used for that. Like when Vision was like, "We can go anywhere we want," and she was like, "No, we can't."
Yeah, we dead can't.
She was like, "Don't worry though, I have everything under control."
And then she sees this nigga and he's dead.
Yeah, she's for like a split second.
She sees the end game. The fucking Thanos rip his fucking cranium hole in his fucking head, and then she panics and then restores the entire illusion.
Put a pin in that. I want to revisit that as well.
Put a pin on that.
So we get to the next episode.
This is when things escalate very quickly.
Okay.
Very, very, very quickly.
So now we're like in the 80s.
The 80s and 90s.
Yeah. This feels very Charles in Charge type intro. Like it had that vibe to me.
Yeah, it was like the Full House, Family Matters type.
Yeah.
That type of stuff. So basically Wanda and Vision are kind of struggling to get the babies to stop crying.
Very interesting.
Like very interesting.
Very subtle,
Wanda also
too.
tries to use her powers on the babies to get them to stop
wouldn't
crying.
work.
And it would not work. Would not work at all. Put a pin in that. Agnes pulls up, as usual,
always
perfect
time. Perfect
telling them that she's ready to help them look after the boys. But Vision is just like, wow, Agnes, this is kind of weird that you always come in at the perfect time. And Agnes is like, don't worry about it, silly. I'm using lavender. That Ralph.
Yeah.
Her husband that we never see that she always brings up.
Talks about.
She said, Ralph tells me this is the only thing that can control me. And if I'm being a nerd about it, lavender is supposed to like calm beasts and like creatures and shit. So I don't know. I might be doing too much. I'm gonna put a very tiny pin on the crazy side over here. But
another interesting thing is for a split second, she I forgot what causes it, but then she looks at Wanda and says, "Should I take it from the top?"
Oh yeah.
She breaks character for a second. And they both, Wanda and Vision, look at her like
it's because Vision was kind of weirded out.
Yeah.
By like what was happening, and then Wanda was also acting weird, and she was like, should I take it from the top?
Yeah,
and they both looked at each other like, what? And then she was like, what? No. And then here's another weird part. After Agnes was spraying the lavender on the children and Vision and Wanda was talking, they're 5 years old now.
Yeah. They somehow
age themselves up.
Yeah. They already have control over their power.
Which is like
very, very interesting.
Very interesting. Also, a dog appears in their crib.
Yeah.
Right afterwards. Like a dog is in the sink. The twins are trying to hide this dog. And Wanda walks in. She's like, no, you can't keep the dog. And then Vision walks in. And then he's like, I feel like someone's about to pull up with something we need.
And
then Agnes with a doghouse. She said, I heard from my front door you got a dog. And I'm just like, how? How? And then Wanda tries to like, and then Wanda also shows her ability in front of Agnes.
Yeah.
And then Vision is like, what the fuck are you doing?
He ain't like that.
And then tripping. And then after she tells the boys they can't have a dog until they're 10, they age themselves up to 10.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Very, very interesting.
Now, this is my favorite part, right? Because I think I have a theory about this computation business, but I'm going to put a pin on that also, right?
Okay.
Bang. Vision is reading a SWORD email.
Yes.
That reveals the situation that's going on in Westview. I don't know how it crossed over.
Yeah. I don't know how they pulled that off.
I don't know how it crossed over. Air quotes. We're going to put a pin on that, but he's figuring something out. And then that's when he breaks the control of his mans.
Yeah.
And his mans is just like, yo, I got to call my family. Like I've been missing.
Trapped here.
She got me under control. She.
Yeah.
Listen to the words. She. She has me under control. Boom. He puts the shit back, and now he's fucking worried. And Vision's kind of pissed. And like that's when SWORD sends in the drone, right? The 1980s drone.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think SWORD also makes a breakthrough where they figure out like, even though this is like some cosmic radiation like area type thing, if they kind of play to the rules, it won't really change the things that they send in.
Exactly.
So they were like, if this is the 1980s, 1990s, if we send in a drone from the 1980s or the 1990s,
it'll fit right in.
It'll fit right in, and it won't be anything weird.
So this part is definitely interesting for me as well, because literally once that happens, you can see her eyes start to glow because she noticed the drone. Because the dog actually noticed the drone outside.
Yeah.
And then she goes outside to see the drone. And then Hayward starts acting weird again.
Super fucking weird.
Because they're just trying to, all Monica wants to do is communicate.
And
he's just like, yo, shoot her. And it was like, you do know she's powerful enough to make this world. Why are you angering her? Like, what are you doing?
Hayward. Let's put a pin
Yo,
on
he's an
Hayward.
ops.
He's an op. He's trying to antagonize something.
Exactly.
I just don't know what it is yet.
Exactly.
I feel like it's some military shit, but I feel like it's a little bit deeper than that, to be honest.
So then after that happens, this is probably one of the first shocks for me. She's just tired of this shit, and she leaves own world.
The fucking world, holding the drone, and like, throws it towards them.
Exactly. She's like, yo, stop being the ops. Like, I'm just trying to have a family. Like, mind your fucking business.
She was like, leave me the fuck alone.
And that's the first time she really flexed her power for real.
And then not only that, she pointed only all the guns at Hayward.
Exactly.
No one else.
Exactly.
That's Monica was there. Everybody else was there.
I definitely feel like that's very important. And two, like I said, that's a flex on her power. She never controlled that many without being mad. The only time she controlled that much is when Pietro died.
And in my mind, I'm thinking either it was this episode or the last episode. There was a part where Jimmy Woo and Darcy, they were gonna call Hayward a dick. And he was like, Hayward is and then it cut off Hayward's a terrorist.
Yeah.
And then I was like, Hayward's a fucking terrorist. And Marvel's telling us and we acting stupid. But we continue. Right. So then after the drone shit happens,
she goes back in.
And then we find out that the dog has ran away.
Also, we got a new commercial.
Oh, new commercial. Lagos paper towel.
Lagos, yeah.
It's
when you make that mess.
When you make that mess.
That you didn't want to.
That you didn't want. Yeah. Which is the explosion in the beginning of the Civil War.
Exactly.
Where she killed all those people.
They keep giving us little hints.
Oh, fuck, man. She's going crazy. She's tipping over, boiling over.
Slowly. And you were talking about the dog.
So the dog is missing. Billy and Tommy are sad. They're looking for the dog. And
what do you fucking know?
Agnes is like, oh, the dog dug into my somethings and ate them and died. And now,
this is the first time I feel like the kids recognize that they have powers.
Yeah, because they also said to Wanda, you can bring people back from the dead.
Yeah.
And then also, shock, Agnes looked mad surprised when they said that.
You can do that?
She was like, you can do that?
Yeah.
And then not only that, the kids were going to age themselves up again so they didn't have to go through that grief. And Wanda stopped them.
She had a very interesting conversation.
Which is funny, like, because she should be talking to herself like that.
She's giving her, that's like her subconscious
talking
to her.
Subconscious talk. She's figuring shit out. But then she gets to the crib and Vision is tired of this shit. Free Vision, man. That nigga just want to die and stay dead. That's it.
This was very interesting, like you're about to say, just because of the dynamic between power in this world.
So
very interesting.
I also have a crazy theory about like why Vision can do a lot of the shit that he can do, but we're gonna keep that for later. But Vision basically comes to the crib and he's like, "Yo, are you keeping these people hostage? Like, what the fuck is going on?
What the fuck?"
And
everybody's acting mad weird.
He's like, "You can't control me like you can control these people," and she says, "I can't," and rolls the credits on this.
Yo, that's the hardest thing I've ever seen done in an argument, bro. I don't want to argue with you. I'm gonna just roll the credits.
you look this way, and it's credits rolling in front of you, nigga.
That was hard. But what's
Vision
even
was
harder?
Like, no,
get that shit the fuck out of here.
Fuck off. Right?
That's some real nigga shit, man.
Nigga hit the Vision float.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh shit, it's about to get authentic. And then she hit the red float, and I was like, it's about to get mad authentic. But then Vision said something very important that kind of put more perspective into the show. He said, I don't even remember my life before this.
Yes.
So that moment she realized she was kind of wilding. But then as she was explaining that she kind of didn't realize what happened before the hex, like she wasn't really in control.
Because he did bring up, like we just mentioned earlier, why they're never kids.
Why they're never children, right?
There's no kids here but ours.
So she starts talking to him about how she don't remember how she got here. And then the doorbell rings.
Just like that.
And then she's like,
and he's like, yo, why
he's
why
like, why
you
are you doing this right now? And she's like, I didn't do that.
Very interesting.
And then he goes, I mean, if I'm doing the math, like, I can't really believe you right now in this moment.
Exactly.
And
the
then,
math not mathing.
Boom, boom, boom. Quicksilver comes in. But this is Quicksilver from the Fox world.
Blew my fucking mind.
But
Kevin Feige's crazy.
So which one is real is my question.
But I think we're gonna get into that next episode.
Is it an alternate dimension or is it a scroll? It's a lot of shit going on.
Hey, Jamal.
Yeah, you just introduced a new theory.
A good theory.
You just introduced a new theory. I didn't think of that.
That's a good motherfucking theory.
Yeah, we're gonna
put that on the board.
Yeah, put a fucking pin in that shit.
But so Pietro walks in, and this is why I like your theory about the scroll, but I'm not really sure.
I'm not sold on it, but it's
because
just
I just like it though.
I like it though. But Pietro walks in, says, "Can I give my stinking sister a hug?" And then points at Vision and goes, "Who's the popsicle?"
Yeah.
Meaning that he knows that Vision is dead.
It's exactly.
And then Darcy goes, "He's been recast." Amazing. Hilarious.
Great ending. One thing that definitely happened in that episode that we're definitely gonna have to put a pin in because it was very fucking subtle was Monica mentioning aerospace engineer that she wanted to meet.
Her friend. Also,
nobody says who it is,
from an
but there's a couple
before. You cannot see Monica's vitals right now because of like when she went through the hex. Apparently, it's rewritten.
Yeah, it's a permanent rewritten. It's like permanent change.
So right now they're trying to check like her vitals, like the inside of her body, and because she has so much energy in her body, they can't see it. So put a pin in that.
Yeah,
because Photon could be coming, people.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 6, the most recent episode, the most mind-blowing episode.
It sparks all the theories.
Malcolm in the Middle type shit.
This was ill.
All new Halloween spooktacular.
Before you even continue, just shout out to the team behind like all these intros.
Yeah, because
they've been going crazy from the first one till now. They
are literally killing the game. It's like actually insane. So it's the early 2000s settings now. They got a Malcolm in the Middle type intro. Now I feel like every intro is pretty interesting. I feel like we could do a whole episode based off like just the intro Easter eggs.
Even the lyrics in the intro, they were literally telling you that this is
we're making it up as we go. Was the 70s one. This one was like Agnes is in this one, like as a prominent character.
Yeah.
She's also with the twins more in like this shit. But yeah, it basically starts off with Wanda wants to spend Tommy and Billy's first Halloween together as a family.
Oh, before you even skip to that, very interesting. These are the first episodes that the kids narrate.
Oh, the kids are basically now main characters that could break the fourth wall. They could look into the fucking camera.
That also ties
to us.
Those kids are her.
They are the keys.
Yeah, that ties into the whole theory that's why she can't control them. Like, they exist outside of her control.
Outside of that.
Yeah.
They are as much as the writers of the story as she is.
Exactly.
And they kind of proved it later on in the episode, but we'll get to that. So she talks about how they want them to spend Halloween together.
Yes.
And like, they're doing a whole bunch of those 90s tropes where the two little brothers are talking and like one is dressed up, the other one's like dressed regular. And he's like, I'm the cool brother. And he's like, which brother am I? And they do like a flashback of Billy doing some goofy shit and falling.
Yeah.
And then
they were playing Dance Revolution.
It was mad fucking hilarious. And then Vision is like, I gotta go on patrol in the streets of the neighborhood, man. I'm part of the neighborhood watch.
Word.
And then Pietro, out of fucking nowhere.
Before you even continue with that, I want people to put a pin in this. The costumes. One, they talk about Scarlet Witch. She's dressed and she says that's a Sokovian fortune teller outfit.
Yeah.
They show you Vision's old school outfit.
Yep.
Which he said is a Mexican wrestler.
They show you
Billy
Quicksilver's old shit.
Billy was dressed as Wiccan the entire time as a kid. They didn't show Tommy's yet.
But Tommy's colors are the same colors as the old school Quicksilver one.
That's a fact.
Green.
Yeah. That's a
fact.
Definitely put a pin in that.
Yeah, put a pin in all of those.
In costumes. Because I want to come back to costumes.
Are actually pretty great. Because everyone's costume was actually, I think, what they technically are in that
That's
place.
The perfect way to put it. We're going to save that.
But basically, while Vision comes downstairs and the first thing he says is, "This is the only thing I had
Yeah.
to wear." And then
Which is
Wanda
really
gives
awkward.
him like "You're not acting your role."
Exactly.
And then he starts acting his role. He smiles
plays
and
along.
goes, "Nah, I'm just doing this for the patrol." And then Pietro offers to step in as a father figure and take the boys trick-or-treating. And
Very interesting.
yeah, basically he steps in, and Pietro's saying like a lot of weird things while he steps in to
Yes. And I want to talk
be-
about each and every fucking one of these weird things. So one of the things that I thought was really interesting before we jump into the weird things is they show his tattoo. Now, that's his real I took the time to look it up. It's his real tattoo, but at the same time, it has the MOM, which I thought was really interesting, which is kind of you could kind of make a bit of a reach that it's the multiverse of madness.
multiverse
It's
of madness.
not a
Yeah.
coincidence that Marvel, because they don't usually show tattoos
Yeah.
from the actual actor. So
I
I felt
didn't
like
even
that
look
was,
at his tattoo.
yeah. I got bars for this episode,
another,
bro.
Here's another thing, right? The episode where Pietro pulls up, there's a shot that shows Wanda, kind of like the shot of Wanda's front looking towards the door,
Uh-huh.
and behind her is a mirror,
Mhm.
and you could see her reflection, but you
Mhm.
can't see his reflection. And I think you could see like a hand reaching out.
Really? I gotta go
I'll
back
show
and watch.
you.
Yes.
I'll show you like I will
Wait,
watch
from
the
the
clip
mirror,
after
you're
that.
saying?
Huh?
From the mirror.
Yeah, there's it's a very short shot of like they show
Very
her
interesting.
looking at the nigga out the door.
Yeah.
And then if you look
You see
in
the,
the
back
mirror,
of,
you can see the back of her,
head, but you don't
but
see
you
anything
don't
with
see
him.
anybody who's outside. And you also
Very
see
fucking
like a
interesting.
gray like type of either a hand or like smoke or some weird shit
Interesting.
like in the mirror. And
that's a
that
good
would
one.
and then another weird thing that he did in episode 6 was when he kind of scared her, when he kind of snuck up on her,
Yeah.
and she fucking like OD jumped, and they like played like heavy rock music, like, damn. And I don't know if I'm thinking too much, but like people usually put heavy metal with like demons and shit.
Okay.
So I'm thinking that's not him. Another thing, Wanda, Billy, and Tommy can break the fourth wall.
Yeah.
There was a part where Billy was breaking the fourth wall, and Tommy was next to him, and so was Quicksilver, and they were all playing video games.
Mhm.
And Quicksilver looked into the camera while Billy was talking to us.
I know.
And then he was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like, and then
Yeah, he
like
gave him a
looked
weird
away.
look.
Then
Yeah.
he like looked back away, like to pretend like maybe we didn't see him.
Right.
Also, every time he just randomly said, "I'm here to be like your guilt and like shame," and like to him to randomly just pull up to Wanda like, "I'm here, he goes in your shame," and like, "Yeah, I died. Like I got. How are you doing this?" Like him.
Yes.
Questioning why you keep trying to know how she's doing this.
Another interesting thing is when they talk about he brings up the Halloween when they were kids.
Oh yeah.
And she was like, "That's not how I remember.
That's not how it went."
But
he was like, "You must have repressed a lot of those memories."
Yes, very interesting, because I do feel like maybe it does happen like that in his version, in his universe, and it's just different from the Quicksilver of her time.
So now that we figured out that like this is, so we're gonna answer your question, Jamal. This is Age of Ultron Quicksilver, but with Fox's Quicksilver's face and body
and some of his memories.
So it basically seems like, oh, we didn't even get to the end of the episode. So we'll get to the end of the episode and then explain it fully.
What, they fused, nigga? What?
I'm guessing that. No, but this is how we're gonna explain it, right?
All right.
MOM is crazy because now that makes mad
Multiverse
sense.
of madness. Yeah, it's not a mistake.
Okay,
it's not a mistake,
all right,
bro.
So yeah, so then
all right,
yeah, we were talking about. Oh, he also says unleash the hell spawns,
Yes.
which is a Mephisto Easter egg.
Yes,
but we keep
because
that for later on.
technically they're
just basically two
they're
parts of
parts of his
Mephisto
body.
to make to fuse so that he can be in existence in our world. And so now we're talking about Vision, right? Because there's also a part where
before we get to that,
Pietro grabs Tommy
Mhm.
and Billy and he's like running around the fucking town in super speed, wilding. And then out of nowhere, Tommy decides, I'm a speedster.
Yeah.
Like, and just powers just manifest. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just a speedster now.
Oh, before we even get to that, there was also, just to cover that little Easter egg, the fact that both actors were also in Kick-Ass.
In Kick-Ass, and they brought up Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
Like,
I thought that was really cool.
that was pretty cool. Aaron Taylor and other son.
Yeah. All right. So here's something I did not see anybody else cover, and I definitely wanted to cover it because I definitely thought it was interesting. Now, that whole scene where Quicksilver, right before he takes Tommy and Billy trick-or-treating, they're walking past the movie theater. There's two movies on the movie theater. The Incredibles and Parent Trap. Now, I want to talk about each movie real fast. The premise of The Incredibles is literally a family of superheroes. 5
twins
superheroes.
Tricking each other to swap.
So if you think about it, that's Vision, Scarlet, Pietro, Tommy, and Billy. That's 5, right? Now, what makes the theory for me interesting is, do you remember who the villain was in The Incredibles? It was the kid that admired.
It was the kid that admired them.
So think about that. Who admires Wanda? Agnes. She's been admiring her from episode 1. You look good. You have like a great family. Like, she's always admiring her. Perfect example of sneaking in a possible clue onto who the villain is. Now, let's talk about Parent Trap. Just another Easter egg, the movie Parent Trap. Now,
twins.
I don't remember the entire movie in detail, so I had to look this shit up. But it's 2 twins that grew up apart that meet each other later
and try
on.
to decide they want to get their parents
That
together.
is Quicksilver and Wanda. He's from a whole different universe. He's never met this Wanda. They grew up apart, but they're twins, and they eventually meet in her world.
And trying to get the family back together.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a crazy one. I feel like that's a little bit of a stretch.
Here's another shit.
They picked those 2 movies for a reason.
Here's another thing about,
they
like,
do it for a reason.
Here's another thing about the Parent Trap one, right? That could more mean the twins, the boys, are the reason that they're gonna bring the family together. Meaning, like, Wanda and Vision and like probably everybody, like, in the Marvel universe. I think they're the key.
Yeah.
Because if we're even gonna talk about the commercial, the Yo Magic shit,
I have
a very crazy theory about that shit. But basically, it's like a shark on a surfboard. He pulls up, he throws the yogurt, and he's like, if you want to survive, like,
because it's just this kid that's just sitting on this island by himself.
And now here's the reach that I think actually makes sense, right?
Go full Mr. Fantastic.
Full Mr. Fantastic, super stretch. We out here wilding. That kid cannot break the seal. Yogurts have seals. Magic have seals. They're sealed in the fucking world. If you don't have magic, you can't get out. I'm thinking Tommy might die and Billy might survive, and Billy will be the key to opening that shit the fuck up. And I'm thinking also, if we're going to go even further, if we're going to talk about outfits, you was talking about Agnes, even with like her, like love, like
that's
her. I think Agnes
to go back to that,
or Hayward. Hayward could be the villain, like in Incredibles.
Yeah,
because remember, he has this OD beef with the superheroes disappearing during the blip. Remember, he was talking about, you don't know how hard that shit was this last 3 years or 5 years. Talking to Monica, like without these fucking superpowered people.
Yeah.
So like in my mind, I'm thinking like we have some shit where it's like people that hate the heroes that we have, and they want to, I guess, technically become the powerful enough to protect themselves or do shit. And I think that counts with Agnes also. Her wearing the witch costume.
Yes, I thought that
her
was
having a lot of different witch shit.
I do feel like now we going into the Vision part.
Yeah.
I thought, like I said earlier, I always feel like Agnes is leading him somewhere. So it's not a coincidence to me that Agnes, of all people, is literally sitting on the edge of Wanda's hex world or whatever, right by the part where
also right before the let's really talk about it, right, Jamal? So now we can answer more of your questions, right? So the hex is, she just took over this Eastview town and named it Westview town, right? But every human being who's at the edge of the hex can't really be under her control like that. Yeah. So they're like just frozen and stuck. They don't have a cast.
So they don't move now?
So they can't move because her power don't extend that far yet.
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing her grief is the battery to the power to make it stronger, to make it expand.
Mm-hmm.
This bitch Agnes is at the end of town chilling.
In the car.
In the car. Like, she's at the end of town chilling. Hold on, right? She's in the car. Vision pulls up on her because he's like trying to figure out, like, he just flew to the top of the town to see, like, because he got to the edge and he was seeing people acting weird. So now he just wanted to fly up and see if everyone in the perimeter was acting weird.
And he
noticed that one car with Agnes in it, like with the red lights blaring.
What a fucking coincidence.
He goes to the edge of that town. She's sitting there and she's just like, where's Town Square? And that's when I think Vision kind of realized, oh, this kind of sus. He's like, I mean, it's in the middle. Like,
and he's like, yo, why? Because she was like, yo, I got lost. And he's like, how do you get lost?
And he was like, how do you get lost? And you grew up here. And then she laughs like nervously. And then he does the thing he does to his other homie, right? He touches the mind and like uses his like, I guess, the synthesoid power. Mm-hmm. And then she comes back. But here's the difference between her and a lot of other people, right? Everyone usually panics and is like, oh my God, my family. Oh my God, this. And she just immediately was like, oh shit, Vision, it's you.
Yeah.
She's like, you're here to save us? You're in the Avengers, right?
Listen to how
she's starting to make me think that Quicksilver actually might be a Skrull now.
He might either be a Skrull. Agnes could be a Skrull too. Now that I'm thinking about this, they could be like wilding like that.
Because you gotta think about their main goal is to investigate, right?
Yeah. Well,
it's not to investigate.
It's to
Their main thing is that they investigate the superheroes.
Yeah,
they copy them. If they can replace them, they replace them.
Yeah, that's true.
And then
that's also why Secret Wars is coming up. That's a show.
And also, I can't necessarily remember in the.
It was Spider-Man Far From Home at the end when Nick Fury and the other people were Skrulls.
No, not that.
Yeah, I just gave you another theory. But go ahead.
Was it the X-Men movie where Quicksilver was in?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Did you see whatchamacallit?
Days of Future Past
was Wanda in that?
No.
Did Wanda make any sort of appearance? No other actors, nothing like that.
Nah, there was no Wanda.
No, there was no Wanda. There was no Wanda.
No flashbacks, nothing like that.
Nope.
Nah, there was no Wanda.
Never showed her.
They never show Wanda.
Did they show anyone else from the Avengers movies?
Nah. Only because they didn't have the rights.
It was only X-Men.
Yeah.
Quicksilver is the only one that was kind of allowed to even be in Ultron.
Because he could kind of play both sides.
And not only that, I think after they did Days of Future Past, they got a deal with Marvel, and that was the loose continuity tie-in.
So they allowed them to.
So they was basically saying that like after Days of Future Past, technically them niggas could appear in the Marvel world because it's different timelines.
My question is, would it make more sense for them to remove a character and replace it with a similar character, or keep the same character and keep that same pace?
I would say replace.
I think
only because in this instance it makes sense because that's how they can bridge the worlds of one, replace the actor just on a natural, normal level, and then two, if you replace him with that character from that world, then that means if he exists in our world, everything that happened in all that in those movies can now be brought over.
Okay, so spitballing theory, right?
Okay.
How did he get to that world?
Who?
She broke time and reality.
Yes. Okay, cool. Can she break time and reality that far where she can pull people from other universes?
I feel like
I think they kinda,
I feel like she had help.
Yeah, I feel
was he snapped out and placed in the wrong world?
But this is what I'm saying. I believe that the hex is the key, and I believe the hex is more her powers and the residual shit from the snaps. Remember, I think that snap has a lot to do with into universes. So I'm thinking right now the snap.
So it's possible that they could have got misplaced.
Yeah, it's very possible they did get misplaced. Because then if you also think about Endgame. And when they was going back into different universes to put the stones back. And then when they was like, even if we go back there, we're not really going to affect the timeline because there's different timelines. Remember when Shorty hit Hulk out his body, wasn't explaining it? Remember when she was like, when Thanos did the snap, he broke the timelines into a bunch of timelines. So I'm basically thinking that Wanda's powers can probably reach in and snatch niggas from other places. I'm thinking that's what they're doing.
Either
that, I think Jamal, I think part of your theory is right. I think somebody's a Skrull. I think Hayward might be a Skrull.
That
Now
was
I'm
my
thinking about it,
theory.
right? Or the engineer that Monica's talking about might end up being a Skrull. Because remember that little girl was her Skrull friend in Captain
So
Marvel.
so I'm gonna tell you my theory.
But my issue with that is that I believe that Agnes is a witch. I believe that for the children shit was some cult shit. I believe that they was trying to either raise Mephisto or get like Dormammu or one of them magical people a body. I do believe that Agnes is a part of this, but I feel like shit kind of went too far with them. I do believe that Quicksilver is Mephisto in disguise or some type of demon, something in disguise.
Quicksilver is not Quicksilver.
It's not Quicksilver. I don't think it's him at all.
It's either we're going with the theory that he's from an alternate dimension, like you guys were saying, but I don't it still doesn't make
I think it's Mephisto. I don't think it's him.
So-
It's not him.
So
It's not him. I don't think it's him.
So he could be a Skrull for real.
But then again, this is where it gets crazy, right? Because I
Mephisto?
just watched Mephisto is the only one that makes sense because
It
Tommy
makes sense,
and
but
Billy
then it's just like-
Tommy and Billy are basically just soul containers for him to like get a body to be in the world. And like when we talk about Agatha Harkness, she's a magic user and she like gets powers from Mephisto. If we're gonna go to Spider-Man Far From Home with Mysterio dead ass dies when he was like a visual artist. Then Mephisto gives him powers and he comes back with magical powers that makes like mirages happen. At the end of Spider-Man Far From Home, what I'm guessing, and this is another crazy theory, another big ass pin on the board. If you watch Spider-Man Far From Home, he's in Europe that entire movie. In my mind, as WandaVision is going on, he's in Europe right now, fighting Mysterio. At the end, the last 10 minutes of the movie, when he lands back in New York, J. Jonah Jameson from the Spider-Man 2 movie is calling him a murderer. You remember that at the end part, right? J. Jonah Jameson, the same actor from the Spider-Man 2 movie, is calling him a murderer. And he's fucking confused. I think by the time he lands to New York, by the end of Far From Home, WandaVision episode 8 is done and the hex is expanded over New York. And that's where also the Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange shit comes in. Because that's why that would make sense that Jamie Foxx, William Dafoe, Andrew Garfield, and all these niggas would even be in this next. Remember they were saying all the old villains. Because if we could bring Quicksilver from the Fox movie and bring him into WandaVision, we could definitely bring Jamie Foxx as Electro into Spider-Man. We could definitely bring William Dafoe as Green Goblin into Spider-Man. We could definitely, and that's what they're trying to do, I think.
And Jameson is in it too.
And Jameson is in it too. And I think he was one of the first recasts. And now, if we even going to get deeper,
is it a recast or is
they're just calling it a recast? But I believe that Wanda's powers is warping shit so that if a nigga was J. Jameson before, and now that we got the deal, we could put a different J. Jonah like in his spot. Like, I believe that they might even go deep and say Wanda's the reason why Terrence Howard is not fucking War Machine no more. Why Mark Ruffalo is the Hulk now and it wasn't the nigga before. They might wild out. Why Blade is Mahershala Ali now and not Wesley Snipes? They could fucking wild out.
That makes sense.
So I'm gonna take part of your theory. Part of your theory, I believe, is correct. The only part that I found a issue with was definitely the J. Jonah Jameson part. Only because the reason why he started calling him a murderer is because that dude that was working with Mysterio, they had the video. So they showed the video of him shooting him, even though they changed the video, but they showed him stopping Mysterio by shooting him instead of like what really happened when he took the gun.
But
so
still,
they aired that
why
shit.
is J. Jonah Jameson there from the Spider-Man 2 movies?
No, that's why I said part of your theory I do believe is correct.
That's my only issue. The murder shit we could work on, but the only other reason why I'm even jacking that like low-key murderer shit is because remember when we seen that Morbius shot and it had murderer in the background with Tobey Maguire Spider-Man? And if Morbius is during this deal and they want to make this Spider-Verse shit happen and Marvel and Sony does kind of technically have a deal, I truly believe that this fucking hex can make all of this shit make sense. Like literally can make all of this shit make sense. Like I also believe that this hex can bring back Mysterio.
No, I agree with you.
Whereas
With that.
like, yo, this shit can dead ass go mad crazy.
All right,
and like,
so let me.
Fuck.
He gonna keep spinning. He gonna give y'all 500
I'm
bars.
sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna stop. Go ahead.
All right. So my theory goes all the way back
Go ahead.
to the fucking commercial shit
Mhm.
with the yogurt. I thought that was very interesting. One, because you want to figure out who's the fucking shark in this commercial.
Who's the shark?
To me, the shark is either Agatha or Mephisto, right?
One or the other, yeah.
Like you said, she could the boy on the island can't
Could be
break the
both.
seal. He couldn't. Yeah, could be both. Can't break the seal, and in the process of trying to break the seal, he dies
Mhm.
because he's trying his entire life and he dies on his island, but the seal never breaks. Thought that was really interesting.
Mhm.
So part of my theory is while Wanda is in control, she's also being used.
She's
like
definitely
whoever it
being
is also siphoning her power. Okay,
And
and this is why I feel like it explains that she has control of these worlds, but for an instant we see Vision as he really is.
Mhm.
She has control of these worlds, but for an instant we see Quicksilver also
as he
dead.
really is.
So it's like for an instant she loses control of that part of the
The
illusion,
manipulation and the
and
power.
you see the person as they really are for even just a slight second. Even within all the episodes where people break character that's not Agnes, and they're like, "Yo, my bad." Like Herb broke character a couple times.
Here's the shit though, right? That like will perfectly go with that. So Wanda is the battery, like in this
Exactly.
situation. Vision is the computer
Mhm.
in this situation. I truly believe that Vision only doesn't remember his life outside of this is because when they ripped out the Mind Stone,
Yes.
they took a part of him. And not only
Yes.
that, remember
Yes.
when Shuri was trying to
Yeah.
fix him? They didn't get to because they got attacked. He
Uh-huh.
didn't get fully to remember all the shit like
and
in his body.
they brought that up in the
They-
episode where they showed him in the lab and she
He was
broke and
fixing
she
him,
took
yeah.
the body.
Yeah, and not only that, like so, but it was also stated that parts of the Mind Stone, parts of Tony, parts of Bruce, parts of
They all make
Ultron,
'em up.
they all are still in Vision. So I'm guessing Vision technically from the Mind Stone is able to do that to people, even to like wake them up and shit, like, or to even get outside
Because that's
of the
the
shit.
That's the one thing.
further enough.
That's
Repeat that. You said Vision from the Mind Stone.
Because he had the Mind Stone for so
He
long,
still has
and
residual
he still
power
has
from that.
residual power from it. So that's why he could anytime he touches a person's head, it
'Cause
glows yellow.
Think about it. One thing that
He got
connects
residual power from it still.
I can see that.
one thing that connects Vision and Wanda, they both got their power from the Mind Stone.
Yep.
So that's why
the one thing that always trips me up though. Like, is Vision alive? No.
No,
right?
he's a synthesoid. But now he's technically he has a personality.
But if her powers come from the Mind Stone, I never understood why she couldn't just bring him back. It
She
never
can.
really makes
She did.
sense.
So here's
That's what she did in this
so-
shit.
so
That's
here-
what they basically saying. Like,
so-
He's back.
So-
back.
no,
but he
he's
just
out.
No.
he's not fully back.
Here's my part of that I need them to explain in the next couple episodes. So currently, if we're just going based off of what exactly happens now, she can bring you back with, like we were just asking, but so far it's only within that world.
Yeah.
Because when he stepped out, he started to fall
He
apart,
was about to die.
and
Yeah.
then she pulled him back in.
And then he's
and now
Exactly.
he's back to regular. But here's
So
another
currently,
part, right?
You're reanimated within a certain area,
So
because that makes me think: what happens if Quicksilver tries to go out? Does he die?
because
there's no-
yeah.
he's
Yeah,
not-
I think he died. No,
Exactly.
but I don't think he dies. 'Cause I don't think it's Quicksilver. Anyway,
But I just feel
but
like just
but
basically
yes.
what I mean is like if you're
Yes,
not
no,
already
he does die.
alive, if
Here-
you're not already alive,
here's my
there's
ultimate
no
shit.
guarantee that you exist
so
outside of her world.
Vision is obviously the computer. They put him in the computations shit. Whatever they're trying to do in there, Hayward wants some type of technology. He either works for AIM or Hydra or both, and like he wants Vision technology wise. I believe that
definitely
there's
feel like it's
a
AIM.
bunch of people in there because when they was like he's tracking Vision and then they showed on the screen, but then
Mhm.
there was also 5 other lights.
Mhm.
I was like, okay, So I'm sure Hayward sent in other agents, which is one of the black guy is one, in my opinion.
Which makes perfect sense about
Like-
him transforming into the beekeeper suit, about the aim. That's why
Yeah.
I feel like like they have sleeper cells within Sword that is aim and is going to create for the origin story of how aim comes
Facts.
together.
So I believe that Vision is the computer in this situation, and niggas need the computer, right?
Yeah.
Wanda is the battery in this situation, and niggas need Wanda's power to keep it going, to get to expand this shit as much as possible, right?
Facts.
I believe that Agnes is a witch. They dressed her up like a witch, had her laughing maniacally like a witch. They have her like literally coming through talking about she always got tricks up her sleeve and a little charm and like magic and
I feel like everyone is looking for one bad guy, and to me it's two.
It's a few.
It's AIM.
Yeah.
AIM is doing their thing, trying to get their thing together, and at the same time also Mephisto. Because going back to what you were talking about before, I wanted to bring that up. They had a callback to where Agnes was when Tommy and Billy were going trick-or-treating. Wanda specifically told them not to go past Ellis Ave.
Yeah, I know.
And where the fuck was Agnes?
At on Ellis Ave,
leading, what's his name?
Vision out to go outside, because that's what he's gonna do. Because he's gonna try to figure out what the fuck is going on out there.
And so she's now, just still ushering this nigga.
Here's my other part of this whole theory that I think is gonna play out in the future, right? So Agnes and whoever is in there really kind of pulling the strings wants to get out.
Mm-hmm.
I think they figured out they couldn't, so they're gonna try to expand this as much as they can.
Exactly.
Billy can sense Vision outside of the bubble, outside of the hex.
That's why I know he exists in his he
doesn't exist in his own shit.
Exactly. He's real now.
He can
they're
probably
they're
both real. So I believe that they can. Well, I believe that I don't know if they're both real. I do believe that
you're talking about the kids, right?
The kids, yeah.
Okay.
I do believe that Billy is real.
And me skimming through comics, right? This because I'm skim lord out here. Those kids are not real.
Billy is real.
Neither of those kids are real.
Well, by real,
but when I mean real,
what I mean is real is they don't exist within her power.
Those kids aren't real. Okay, those kids aren't real.
They exist because of her power.
Yes,
but here's
we go.
But here's my issue. Here's my issue with that. I believe that where Marvel is going, Billy's gonna exist outside of her powers to actually make himself a real person to exist. Because why can someone who only exists inside her powers sense outside her powers when she can't?
That's what I'm saying.
Like in the last episode, he
is a part of her powers.
No, you're not understanding what I'm saying.
I get
when
what
Vision
you're saying.
left. No, I'm talking to Jamal. When Vision left,
what you're saying,
she didn't know Vision left.
Exactly.
Only Billy knew.
If her power,
I'm saying.
If her power was all encompassing over everything, she would know.
I think her thing is that she's in the know about a lot of stuff, but she doesn't want to be.
I mean, yeah, I agree with that.
She's trying to be as ignorant as possible.
But Jamal, her to not know he's outside,
that's very important.
For only Billy to tell her, her to then expand it beyond, literally means that she had no clue what the fuck was going on out there, which actually could mean that Billy kind of off rip got a crazy ass power. And that the Yo Magic commercial,
the kids do have powers in the comic.
The Yo Magic commercial with the seal shit about breaking the seal, right? Like that kid couldn't break the seal with his physical strength, like just opening it. And I'm thinking like magic is a key, and I think because
it's literally called Your Magic.
Billy is Wiccan, and they want they're foaming at the mouth for Wiccan to be like in the future Marvel shits.
Yeah.
So like I'm thinking in my head either you're right, and both those kids die for Mephisto to get a body so he could actually break out of the shit and like really cause trouble with the multiverse of madness. Or I have three theories. Or Tommy doesn't really have magic. He just has like the super speed shit. And I'm guessing that if Agnes needs like a body from Mephisto, they might either give it to Tommy or Billy, and one of them dies, the other one kind of survives. And then
to make it even worse,
and then Wanda goes crazy. I'm just guessing somebody has to die for Wanda to go crazy. I'm guessing Vision is going to sacrifice himself.
I feel like it's going to be. It would make more sense
for Tommy to die.
No, they're gonna keep those kids alive because
think they're gonna keep them alive.
that's the future of Marvel. Like
But
if I'm just talking from a business side
yeah.
and not a nerd side, they're keeping those
But here's
kids.
the thing, like what Jamal's saying, like those kids dead don't exist, right? But then they reincarnated them.
Right. That's what I'm
Like
saying.
they literally came back and brought them back as real people that existed.
So
I think that's what they're aiming for. It's one of those things where they're probably gonna have the kids like
Be killed off.
be killed off and then come back.
All right.
So
then I feel like that would make more sense than them actually.
Or one of them might get killed off and they might just keep the other one.
I know you keep going with this theory of killing a kid, but he's not.
They're not gonna kill one of these kids, bro. They're not gonna be a kid when they die.
They're gonna kill a speedster, but it's gonna be Pietro. I'm telling you, she's gonna lose her brother again.
I feel like these niggas are gonna. I feel like they're not gonna kill a kid, right? But they're gonna kill them when they age up. Like they're gonna be an appropriate age when they age up, and then they're gonna kill one of them, or they're gonna take their powers.
The reason why I know they're not gonna get rid of a speedster is because they have mutants coming.
Yeah, that's true.
Because the only reason that they got rid of the speedster to begin with is because he was OP compared to everybody else in the current universe. The universe now is going to include mutants. It's going to include cosmic entities. It's going to include. They're going to be so powerful at this point where speedsters are just regular. Like it's not going to matter. So to me, they're not going to. I don't know what Billy did to you, but they're not going to kill this nigga.
No, it's not. I'm not Billy, Tommy. Like this. Like, hey, yo, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I'm not even saying this from like a perspective of who's my favorite and who's not my favorite. Because if it was up to me, I would keep both the kids. You get what I'm saying? But like, I'm really trying to look at this from a Marvel perspective, right? So if y'all gonna push that Wanda is technically a villain, right? One of these kids gotta go. I'm not even like, or both of the kids gotta go. Like for her to really go crazy on that grief, like, because Vision was about to die. And she expanded, right? Imagine if one of them kids die, bro.
Okay.
That would push the agenda.
I could see that, and I could see it more being like then, one kid dies, and that's the body that Mephisto uses to.
But that's what I'm saying. But then, hold on, hear me out. This is how I bring y'all boy back. Speedster dies. Mephisto uses his body because that's like a body with like the WandaVision genes and then all that, the Vision shit. He can wild out. Billy still exists. Billy's magic gets stronger. Billy somehow fucking expels this nigga and brings Tommy back, nigga. And now you got Young Avengers, nigga.
Exactly. Because
that's what they want.
That was the key thing. I was just saying, like, there's no way they kill these kids because they have plans for that Young Avengers.
My nigga, once they said Miss Shazam and Riri Williams, and once I figured out that Scott Lang's daughter aged up, and like I was just
so speaking of that, I wanted to go back to that. Good thing you brought that up. When they were talking about aerospace engineers, Monica brought that up. One of the names that people did not bring up, they brought up Blue Marvel. They brought up Reed, which I think is very possible for Reed because they already have a logo done for that, and they have the dude from Ant-Man working on the script for that. He can appear, but another person that can appear, Riri.
Oh yeah, Riri Williams can deadass appear.
Wasn't she right there?
Nah.
No, she wasn't. It's Monica.
Yeah.
But so, Monica's like my homie. And like
because Riri makes sense only because she's getting a series at some point. They already confirmed that. Like they just threw that out there to the fans.
True.
And the perfect place to introduce her before she gets her own series is
if it's
through another series.
I'm gonna lose my fucking shit.
But I don't feel like it's Blue Marvel.
I don't think it's Riri either.
I feel like it's either Riri or Reed. Somebody that's already that they're going to currently use. And we both know both of those have either movies or series. Riri has a series. Fantastic Four movie is coming. It's guaranteed. They already showed that shit. So whoever they're introducing, I'm
scared, man.
Whoever they're introducing has to be someone that's already on the way.
Reed only wouldn't make sense because they're smashing their way like through the barrier, right? Like they're trying to get inside of like the barrier, right?
I'm just talking about from like the ability to.
Aerospace
engineer.
I do get it.
You have to have clearly you're a scientist on some level, and you understand that level of just creating just technology, period. So if you're introducing a new mind that's that smart, it could only be certain people. And then you to kind of eliminate names on the list, you think about who has series coming or movies coming, that they already plan to introduce. Reed is a given. Fantastic Four, that movie's on the way. They showed the logo at the Marvel D23 event. And they also, the only other person I remember is Riri. And at the same time, we're talking about Young Avengers. Ms. Marvel's on the way.
Yeah, fuck
Yo,
that.
they
When's
said,
regular
they
Iron
said,
Man
they said,
coming back?
here's two people, right? That's very out of the way,
Okay.
but I could kind of. This is a very small
If you
part of
squint,
my
if you
mind.
squint
If
hard
you
enough.
squint hard enough, you could be like,
It's possible.
that could make some sense. That could make.
I
some
seen
sense.
Dr. Doom on the list as well.
Shuri,
Nigga, bring me regular Iron Man.
right?
That
Regular
nigga's
Iron
gone,
Man.
son.
Shuri, he gone.
No,
He gone.
stop.
He gone.
We gotta let that
Shuri,
go.
you gotta let it go. Shuri is one, right?
We're not clamoring for white men in Black
Shuri,
History Month.
Shuri is definitely a person that could be on deck.
Nah, that's true.
Jason,
That's
why
true.
did-
That's
And then if we gonna really squint, like the biggest squint, and maybe this is a Reed Richards level of me picking somebody, Hank McCoy, Beast, before he becomes Beast. Yeah, that's the biggest reach of all time. But
I mean,
he is that smart. He's
you know
smart
what?
enough.
I'm not gonna call it a reach only
It's a reach.
because I'm not gonna call it a reach because we're guaranteed mutants. And one thing Marvel does is they start planting early.
Yeah,
They
that's
don't
true.
they don't just throw people in. It's always we give you the clues and then give you
I
like the
think-
cookie crumb to
I
get
think
you there.
Jamal's theory should be on fucking deck.
No,
I
his
think it's a
theory's on-
scroll.
His
I
theory's
dead
on
think
deck.
it's a scroll. I dead think
I'm gonna combine
they're
all
gonna
our
fake
theories.
us the fuck out.
They're
Like
trying
it's
to
gonna
fake us
they're
out.
gonna be like it's Reed Richards, right? And
Okay,
then niggas
yeah,
gonna
combine it.
blast through the fucking shit, and then the niggas gonna be green, and everyone's gonna be like, "What the fuck is going on?" And he gonna be like,
Nah,
Nick Fury sent me."
I'm going to combine all the theories. I do think there's a Skrull somewhere in here, and I do think it's Hayward. 'Cause
Yeah, I think
going
Hayward
back
is
to
a Skrull, man.
what Jamal was talking about them investigating, that Skrull is there to find out what the fuck is going on.
That's a fact.
He
The
needs
main
to,
goal.
yeah,
Always
he
that.
needs to know what the fuck is going on with this Wanda chick. What the hell is this hexagon? That's why his first instinct was to kill.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they need to get rid of her because if they're going to invade, just like they plan to in the Secret Invasion, you got to get rid of them strong niggas really quickly.
Okay.
So
Also,
you
Jamal,
get rid of her.
let's use Jamal's theory, and now
Okay.
I'm gonna reach using Jamal's theory, right? The last person,
Uh-huh.
the person who's about to go in there, can be a Skrull. Like can be a Skrull pretending to be somebody,
Mhm.
but when they go through the hex, they might end up being Super Skrull.
Okay.
They might end up getting imbued
Fuck
with
it.
mad wild powers. Remember, because like the Skrulls can like transform, and they do have like kind of like a little extra abilities, but
Copy.
a lot of them don't have like superpowers OD yet. Like,
Yeah.
so I'm guessing maybe the hex couldn't bring, because remember, like
That would
they
make
didn't-
sense.
they didn't do the original Skrull story. Maybe they made the Krees kind of more evil.
Yeah.
And the original Skrull story is like they will send niggas down there, but they're also gonna do like shit on them so that they'll have powers and then send them down there.
And
So
to even pad your theory with more, that would make sense because of how it's changing Monica.
Yeah.
So that can also help manipulate that Skrull's
DNA and
genetics.
shit,
Yeah.
genetics and shit, and fuck shit up, and then they
give
end
him
up with powers.
Yeah, that makes
Or
sense.
the shorty end up with powers. Because I'm still kind of banking it on it being the little Skrull girl that Monica was friends with when she was a little girl in Captain Marvel. I don't know if y'all remember that. Like there was
Oh, I know.
that the little Skrull girl that Monica
Yeah.
was always hanging out with. So I'm guessing that isn't that the same chick that was pretending to be a Skrull with the other man, the male Skrull, in the end of Far From Home when they was pretending to be Nick
Shit.
Fury and the shorty.
Wasn't that Talos' wife or some shit?
I think so.
You might have something there.
I
Because,
think-
like I said, I don't feel they don't put things in any of these movies that they don't use at
That's a
some
fucking
point.
fact.
That shit ties back together. So I do feel like at some point in this episode we were right about some shit.
Also, Darcy got hit, but they didn't show nothing, right?
I thought that was very
And
interesting.
in my mind, I'm starting to think Jamal's theory is hitting me in the fucking brain right now. I think Darcy
What
might
if
be a Skrull.
She might.
I think Darcy might be a Skrull.
Let's go. Let's fucking
Yo,
go.
I think Darcy might be a Skrull, Jamal.
I think she is.
The shorty
It
who
was
figured
very-
out the waves.
It was very important.
Did you watch the last episode?
No, I don't think I watched last episode.
So in the last episode, right, Darcy they handcuff her to a car, and then when Wanda expands the hex, they show what happens to all the people who got hit with the hex besides Darcy.
Yeah.
Like, it hits
when you
her
were
and
saying
then they cut off.
everyone froze except
Yeah.
for her. Yeah,
They cut no, they're not even froze. They were showing
they
like
changed.
the people who was running.
Once you go inside her hex,
so
you change.
Jamal, if you standing right there and the hex goes over you, it just turns you into something else. Like you might be a clown now. You might be a 60s milkman.
Yeah.
You could be like a 90s rock star.
You fit into that scenario.
Exactly.
And but you'll be moving because her power got crazier because she was worried about Vision, right?
So it showed all the sword agents.
It showed all the sword agents becoming like clowns,
but they don't show
holders,
Darcy.
But when it hits Darcy, they just cut away.
That's important.
That's important. I think she might have been a Skrull this whole time.
The next episode.
Oh, next week.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah. I do. Like I said, I feel like at some point we're right about some shit.
Yeah, I mean, man, we have way too many good theories about shit, bro.
Like,
and I dead believe that if Marvel is gonna do it the way that I think they're gonna do it, they are going to randomly hit us with the, oh yeah, this Rhodey, that's not the same Rhodey.
No,
Terrence Howard is the real Rhodey.
That's gonna happen. I do feel at some point they're gonna use all the movies that we've seen, and certain people they'll just be like, no, that person died.
Yeah, that person never existed.
Yeah, they were replaced already. So actually for your Iron Man shit, maybe you get your wish.
Yo, Jamal, you might get your boy back.
You might get your wish.
Yo, they can just bring it. Yo, do you remember when Marvel said at any point Tony could just reprise his role?
Yeah.
Yo, what if in the multiverse of madness we get a full just Iron Man back on deck?
I really should. I don't think they should try to replace characters.
The only
I don't think it makes sense.
The only reason I'm gonna say I don't see him coming back is because this nigga took up so much fucking cap space.
Yeah, that's a fact.
After this nigga retired, we got like 30 new fucking series, bro.
If they really want to be genius, they should do like that comic book run where they just make basically Robert Downey Jr. the voice in Riri's helmet, and
fucking fire.
That wouldn't be bad.
That would be fucking fire.
And that way he's always in the, because now he's Vision to everybody.
Yeah,
that's true.
And then if you remember, he also could control the Iron Man suits and be himself in the Iron Man suits without having a body because he's just a consciousness.
Does he really stay dead though? I don't think that makes sense.
I think he stays dead in human wise.
Yeah.
I truly believe, Jamal, what I just said. Tony did that already. He put his consciousness somewhere.
Yeah.
And like at some point when niggas need him, they can just bust that out.
I don't think when is the Tony Stark and his brother story gonna start?
That might never happen.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get that.
I wish they would have did that. I wish they would even push that.
I don't even
you know what?
Get that.
They can still push it.
They can still push it. They can literally just pretend like, oh shit, before Howard and Linda died, like they ain't even tell him about his other brother that was out here wilding in the streets. Like they can do that.
Listen, I'm not gonna put it past them.
I think what they're trying to do is get that kid from Iron Man 3. Because remember, he did end up in Endgame out of nowhere. He was like a teenager in Endgame. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think they're probably trying to groom him to...
So what he's going to become? He's going to become Iron Man, you think?
Maybe. Maybe Iron Lad.
Yeah, Iron Lad.
She's Iron Man? That doesn't make sense.
No, Riri Williams is Ironheart.
Ironheart.
I think that's what they call her.
Yeah, she's Ironheart.
Okay, so she's not a replacement for Iron Man.
No.
Okay, I don't think we ever truly get an Iron Man.
We don't really get an Iron Man replacement.
You get a newer generation, but you're not going to get
whack.
The only way he can come back and it makes sense is literally if
I like your helmet theory.
If the helmet theory and he can control his own AI, or they do the shit like in the comics where the nigga just comes back.
First of all,
where like Doctor Strange goes into the fucking hell and pulls this nigga out of hell, and
I
he's
don't
just
think
back.
Tony really died.
I'm gonna tell you why. Also, because I feel like at some point he was just like it was a satisfying ending for him. Like if you told me between him, Thor, Cap, who would die like for real, like not die, but like be satisfied with the end to their story, that would be Tony, because coming back does a disservice to what he did in Endgame.
Thor's story is
because
was if Thor would have killed himself, everybody would have been upset.
Yeah.
First of all,
only because Go ahead.
None of that shit made sense. How Tony died did not make any sense.
How does it not make sense? He's a human.
Yeah.
I mean,
He can't
I
take-
guess it makes sense. First
he can't
of all,
take 6 stones,
this
bro.
Nigga, what's this nigga with the mask? This bitch ass nigga.
Who?
Hang out with Groot and them real niggas.
Star-Lord.
Yeah, the bitch ass nigga. What's
He is a
wrong with
bitch.
him,
He's
son?
a fucking
Oh my
weirdo. He
God,
fucked the whole
son.
plan up
What's
multiple
good?
times. He fucked
fucked the
every
money
plan
up.
up multiple
Yeah,
times.
he fucked the
goodness.
money up. He
Bro,
fucked the
like-
money
Yo,
up.
not only that,
Like that-
but this
none
nigga,
of that shit
this
makes
nigga support
sense. It
Trump
don't
in real
make
life.
sense.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
nigga
He a
is a
wild
weirdo.
boy,
His
son.
brother's a proud boy. This
It don't
nigga,
make sense.
he a fuck nigga in the movie and outside the movie. How you like that?
Hey, exactly.
That shit was terrible. I'm gonna be honest though. Guardians is gonna get like extra fire when they introduce Nova and shit.
Yeah.
When
That
Nova,
should be hard.
when Nova pull up.
No, I'm definitely looking forward to that. They already said like this next Guardians is the last you'll see with that team as they are. Like they're completely gutting that team. So
I
I'm
mean-
already looking forward to that.
I mean, if you really think about like the Guardians team now, like they're more trying to get like Nova and them niggas like
Yeah.
in that. Even isn't Wiccan a part of that
Because-
shit randomly?
Because at this point, like we were talking about yesterday before we even filmed, the way the MCU is going, the power levels have to catch up to the villains.
Yeah, this is a good conversation. We can have this with you.
Yeah.
So
Because
I
Thanos was just
believe-
ridiculous
I was
compared
talking
to
to my
everybody
friends,
else.
right? And a lot of my friends are upset about how this could possibly bring mutants out, right? But I'm like, did y'all not see how Ultron smacked niggas around for a week? How Thanos, how the fucking when they opened up the Chitauri came down and they started wilding with Loki, how they was getting smacked up.
Yeah.
Did y'all not see how Thanos?
The power
Wiped
levels,
out
the power
half
levels
of
is not even
everything?
close.
So I'm just like, the Earth needs more superpowered people.
Exactly.
So
To balance
If they're
the shit
gonna
out.
bring it in this way,
But don't mutants already exist?
so Eternals is gonna explain that.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for that because
Okay.
not everyone. Also, very interestingly enough,
Mm.
when this nigga wow, going right back to the episode, when Quicksilver said I have an XY chromosome,
Yeah. I
that
peeped
was
too.
interesting because he was talking about like the mutant chromosome.
Mhm.
Like how
that
like
mutant shit makes no sense also, but that's another
it do,
that's
but it
another
don't.
story. It makes no
it's
sense.
because the
None.
Eternals is gonna explain
None
it.
whatsoever.
The Eternals is gonna
Right.
explain it.
Yeah. They're
because
gonna
like
bridge it. They're gonna
they
bridge it.
made humans, human superiors, which is mutants, and they made like the deviants and shit, right? So everybody, we're all technically humans, but some of us have like that latent mutant gene inside
So
of us that is gonna give us
Oh,
powers.
okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm guessing whatever cosmic radiation
those-
shit that Wanda is
go
doing,
ahead.
when it hits niggas that have those recessive genes,
Mhm.
then
It's
they'll
gonna
get
bring it out.
powers.
So all those people who have that gene will turn into superhero.
Yeah,
people.
basically.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So
And I think they need to do that for the
there's-
future.
So people who gain their powers other ways and stuff like that, they're not mutants.
No, yeah,
No.
they're not. That's literally the explanation. So I'm guessing right now Wanda's gonna be the catalyst for people
Yes.
turning into mutants. So I'm guessing when the Hex, because like Monica, right? Is Monica a mutant?
So all those people with that specific gene,
We're gonna
are
find out.
This gets confusing now. Now Jamal, I
Does
think
that
Jamal
not
just explained
make
it.
no
I think
fucking
Jamal, yeah, I
sense?
think Jamal just made it make it make sense why
That's
it's
gonna-
mad confusing.
That's gonna
Because-
that's gonna that's gonna
Because
make it
Monica went
confusing.
through it and they talking about how it's rewriting her genetic material, which would technically make her a mutant, right?
Yeah.
it makes no
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
It does make sense because other people get powers in different ways. Like I don't
Okay.
think Miss Marvel is gonna be a mutant. She's
She's
But
not a
not
mutant.
everybody gets their powers in the same way.
not
Well,
not everybody.
yeah.
Okay.
So they're gonna have to basically. I know where you're
Example
going.
of-
They're
go
gonna
ahead.
have to. They're gonna have to make categories to explain your ability.
Okay.
So-
Okay, so what I'm
What you're
I'm
saying
guessing
is maybe that's the origin of how mutants happen. Is
Hold
because through
Go ahead.
through Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch didn't get her power that way. She got hers through
For the Mind Stone.
experimentation. So
For the-
she's an enhanced.
Okay,
That's how
but
they refer to her.
Before mutants, there are already people on Earth with
With
superpowers.
yeah.
And there were humans born with powers, not necessarily mutants. You understand what I'm saying? So that whole when they try to tie
Okay.
Oh
in
no,
the
if you're
mutants and
born with
everything, it doesn't make
powers, it's
sense.
according to like how did the
Yeah.
power how did you get that power?
Manifest.
Because if
Did it come
If
from
just
a
all
parent?
Nigga stepped in a vat of
if all your
acid.
gen-
What's
but
going
I'm
on?
just saying, if all the generations of your family had powers and y'all don't know how the fuck y'all got that powers, you might be a mutant.
Okay,
You get what I'm
that makes
saying?
Yeah.
sense.
Whereas if you're Wanda and you get hit with the Mind Stone and then you fuck Vision.
Okay, so tell me
and
this.
y'all have a kid.
Tell me this. Why do people hate mutants but not superheroes?
Because people, they stupid. Because people
Yeah.
are dumb. Also,
It
because it
makes
happened overnight.
no
No.
sense.
No,
It's
it doesn't
also,
make
it's
sense.
also,
Think about it.
it's
Think about
also,
it.
it's,
Think
you
about
know,
it like
it's
this.
also fair because if you see
it happened overnight.
if you see someone
Think
like,
about this.
if you see someone like Cap who has his powers and they market him like
How
that
many-
versus someone like
Jamal,
Beast.
think about this, right?
Beast is marketed different.
How many people in the
Spider-Man.
Avengers? How many people in the Avengers?
Stop it.
Look, how many people in the Avengers?
A whole bunch of them.
But like, how many? Like, the mainstay. If we're gonna
6.
pull people, like 6, right?
The main
How
people.
many mutants pulled up in the same night? Millions. That's the difference.
That's terrifying.
That's the difference. Like, because if a
Yeah,
nigga
it's
like
a whole
Captain
bunch of
America,
mutants
it's
and
too
there's only-
many of these niggas.
and
that was the issue.
and to go off
brought the fair.
That shit still makes no sense.
Also
though.
to
It-
go
it
off
makes-
of,
it kinda makes sense, though.
Also to go off of Colton's explanation, the Avengers are looked at as heroes.
Yeah.
They're not every day I'm working,
But
living next
some
to
of
you.
the Avengers
but-
could possibly be mutants, right?
Yeah, that's possible.
It's possible.
You know what's crazy? Jamal? This is where you're gonna kind of make sense, but why comic books you should never look for logic. Sue Storm and Reed Richards had Franklin Richards, and he's a fucking mutant, and they're not mutants.
Yeah, don't look for sense.
Don't look for the sense. That's
So
what I'm
it
saying.
doesn't make
Don't look for the
sense.
sense.
That's
But also, I was like, I
Does
could
not
kind
make
of, I
sense.
could kind of debunk what I said earlier about Monica being a mutant. Her mom is Mariah. Mariah worked with Captain Marvel, who gives off that same kind of radiation. I think she got the cancer from working with Captain Marvel. And
That
working
would
in
make
space.
perfect fucking sense.
And I believe that her giving birth to her daughter, she had the residual energy from
Yeah,
around
so it
being
transferred
Captain
over.
Marvel.
And then
so it
this just
transferred
kinda
over.
sparked
So it's
it.
not really a mutant shit. It's more like a reaction from going through like that
But they
shit.
classify her as
No,
a mutant.
she won't be classified.
She
as a
won't be
mutant.
classified. She'll be
She won't be
enhanced.
classified as she'll
Yeah,
be.
she'll be
This is
enhanced.
I
how
guess they're
big
not
that
gonna
is
call,
my
I don't think they're
problem.
gonna call them
Like,
mutants. I don't think they're
If
gonna
you
call them
have
mutants.
okay, I can the gene thing can make sense. You have a specific gene in your body that makes you something else, but a lot of mutants don't just end up with a specific gene and turn into some other shit. A lot of them have the stories to where nigga fell in a vat of acid.
When it
My
comes to
nigga, like,
but I'm talking about
like
the X-Men are different though. The X-Men literally come from that. You have a recessive gene
Okay.
and it
Yeah.
might just pop up one day
Yeah.
randomly.
So your
and you don't
family-
have to hit with
Okay.
you don't gotta get hit with the vat of acid or nothing. Remember?
Okay.
Because if you think about the X-Men story, what was it like? Ro kissed her boyfriend, she killed the nigga.
because she
Uh,
didn't know.
Scott was in the bathroom.
Okay, was her
his
parents-
eyes started hurting and
Were
then he
her
started,
parents?
No, and their parents didn't even have powers.
Yeah.
So it
just
just skip
manifested.
generations.
Okay.
It just manifests randomly. And the Eternals is going to explain that. That's
So
why
I
it's
do
going to make
feel
more
like-
sense.
So I do feel like within the MCU, how they
it
explain
is
it.
confusing. It's
Yeah, it's very
wishy-washy
fucking-
and
it's very-
flip-floppy,
yeah.
But it's also a fucking comic book.
I just wish they made it make sense.
I do feel like
do.
I wish they didn't
I-
try to force that I need to make this as fake as possible.
I do feel like within the MCU they're gonna have ground rules because they
It
did
has
that.
to
That's
with,
why we got to
they-
watch The Boys.
That's why they explained it with time travel with Endgame. They're gonna come up with their version of why these people are considered mutants, these are enhanced, and whoever's in the middle. I feel like at some point we're gonna, especially working with Kevin Feige, I feel like he's gonna come up with
And who's the top of the food chain?
exactly.
Yeah.
Like why these people. That's why, just like Colton was talking about, like the Eternals is gonna make that
It's gonna make
separation.
everything make sense.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
You're gonna
'Cause it's
get
like,
why these people are Skrulls. These are fucking mutants. Like everyone, because they're all technically from that lineage.
Because when you think about it, we really didn't get real superpowered niggas like that weren't like artificially made until like niggas met Thor and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And Thor
niggas
isn't
like-
even
and
a
Thor,
mutant.
he's
He's
an
a
alien.
god.
and he's an alien technically.
Also, they're literally setting up as like the
Yeah.
Avengers are
Yeah.
the beginning.
yeah,
Because
this is-
technically the first enhanced, for real enhanced, is Captain Marvel, really.
Yeah.
Because she got her powers from the Mind Stone. Because
So X-Men don't exist right now.
nah.
probably not.
During
Well,
the Avengers,
I think
I
after
feel
the-
like during the Avengers, the X-Men definitely did exist. I don't think.
I feel like the people
Jamal?
exist.
I truly believe that after the first Thanos snap, X-Men mutants started existing.
I
And I believe that they're gonna get into that. Like
feel
where
like-
it's gonna be like on some shit like
I feel
when
like
niggas did the snap, like that shit like ricocheted in some people's body and now their powers are just open.
I feel like continuing with that, they exist, but they don't exist with their power. Those people exist, but the snap residual or whatever, the energy from that is going to hit certain people and is going to affect certain people a certain way that it won't affect other people. Like even if you grew up, like your parents grew up with no powers, that explains why you have it. Somehow those residual energy affected you differently, the same way it
Like that
affected Wanda and Quicksilver differently
don't,
from all the other people that
no,
they
no, no, I'm
experimented on in Age of Ultron. Because they said those weren't the only two people they experimented with. They're just the ones that it worked on. That energy worked on. So everybody who got hit with those Infinity Stones,
Here's my thing, right?
Yo, wasn't Cyclops' father a Guardian of the Galaxy? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
I think you're thinking of somebody else.
Yeah, what you were saying, Jamal?
But yeah, you could look that up.
Wolverine exists.
He does exist.
No, he definitely exists because he's like, well,
Wolverine exists.
that's gonna, you know what?
All of them exist in the moment, bro. I'm telling you.
That's a good theory because then they'd have to find. Well, maybe that's how Eternals explains it.
Corsair is a
That-
Guardian of the Galaxy.
Not before
And
you
he's
continue
the
that.
father of Cyclops Havoc.
Before you continue
If
that,
he's a
Jamal
father,
brought
son-
up a good point with the
Yeah.
Wolverine shit. Only because Wolverine has a whole history of being in all those wars, like across time.
He exists.
That's what
Logan
I'm saying.
Howlett
Like,
is
he-
out
That's
there.
why
he has to.
They're
exist.
all out there. Scott
then-
Summers is out there.
But then the problem with that is, how do they explain the origin of that? You know what I'm saying? Because he had to come from somewhere. So if they don't explain that using Eternals, where does Logan come from?
Bro, they don't have to if Deadpool's gonna be in the universe. Like they're gonna figure out a way. They said Deadpool's in the Marvel universe now. So technically they
that
have a
explains
story for
Deadpool.
all of no, because
Wolverine
Deadpool technically
exists.
comes from all that.
He
So-
does, but I mean, I'm giving Kevin
True.
Feige more
True,
credit
true,
than
true,
that.
true,
He's
true,
not
true.
going to be like, well, Deadpool came in and Deadpool says that mutants exist, and we're just going to go with that. There's going to be an actual story that explains that origin, and that's why when Jamal brought that up, it kind of just blew my mind because even if the whole Scarlet Witch thing happened and then she creates mutants, how do you explain all those years of Logan? He can't just come now and be fucking Wolverine.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
that's
Like,
true.
Like he had to go through all the shit that he went through before, the whole Baron Strucker shit, the whole going through all.
Yo, what if the
They have to
aerospace
explain that shit.
engineer is Christopher Summers, Cyclops pops?
I'm not even joking.
That
He
would-
literally worked for NASA and then flew into space and became a Guardian of the Galaxy.
That would be fucking insane because I didn't even guess that. That was
that's the
that was
case,
probably
then-
the furthest
Then
guess I
that
got.
would
His powers
exist.
do
That would,
something else.
but then that would make sense. Why Scott, like Cyclops, and them is just in the world right now.
And they're high school students because their
Yeah,
father's a
'cause
grown ass
they-
man
they
that's
have
working
to-
with the government.
Like I said, that's a
So
That-
pothole
they
that
will
they
be
have to
following.
fix.
Hold on,
They have to
hold on.
fix that plot.
So
hole.
If they could do
this
that.
is my biggest problem. This is my biggest problem. It's the age gap between certain people. So check this, right? Spider-Man. Spider-Man's the same age as Cyclops? Or is Cyclops older? Stop. Think about it.
They're the same age.
They're the same age.
Yes.
Right now, they would technically be the same age.
I get what he's trying to say though.
Or you're talking about in the you're talking about in the
Like in general, the X-Men should be
No,
older
no,
than Spider-Man.
the X-Men will be older than Spider-Man because if they're following the logic from the Fox movies, they were in the 80s. Them niggas in the 90s, they were in the 80s, they were 16.
Who's in the
And
80s?
the X-Men.
Okay, so if the X-Men were you
If they're in the day,
I
I
get
get what
what-
you're saying. If
I
they're
get
in the
what he's
day
saying.
today, they'll be
All right,
adults.
so
They're
I think
go ahead.
we're having two conflicting theories at the same time. We're either talking about mutants existing within the MCU because of Scarlet Witch, her powers, or they already exist within the
Yeah,
Fox
they already
universe,
exist. I think that's what he's saying.
and
already
then they're brought into the MCU through Wanda's powers in the snap.
I think
So we
what-
gotta
I
decide
think what
which
Jamal's saying
which
they already
theory.
exist, right?
Yeah. So
They already exist.
So if
All
they
right.
already exist, Jamal, I'm telling you, their ages will be like late 20s, which would be
They're-
perfect.
yes.
Which would be perfect because they were like 14, 15 in the 80s in those movies.
Okay, so they're older than Spider-Man, as
Mhm.
I said.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
right?
what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
They have to be older than Spider-Man.
They
Or
are. Yeah,
us,
yeah,
it
they
does
are
not
older than
make sense.
Spider-Man.
I mean, one way to explain that how mutants exist all this time and we never seen them is fucking just use Professor X. This nigga
Yeah.
can control minds. So this whole fucking
Also,
time they exist. Yeah.
Cerebro blocks out like,
Exactly.
anybody
Whatever
from, like,
whatever you want to
finding out
do.
where they
So
at.
basically, this whole time, yeah, we could just go with that theory. They existed this in whole fucking time. They were doing their own thing. Niggas just didn't know because Professor X shielded them from the world.
My nigga, what if it is Hank McCoy? And what if he's like dead ass trying to pull up like Beast? And he's dead ass trying to
That
pull
would
up
blow
to
my mind,
take
bro.
the kids to Professor X.
That would blow my fucking mind.
That would be fucking crazy.
That would be crazy.
If he's dead ass like on some, yo,
for them.
we got gifted children. And then he's even telling Scarlet Witch, like, you should come with us. Like,
I would literally
Okay.
say, yeah, no,
That wouldn't be too bad.
no, he's spitting. I feel like the thing I would give Marvel props for is if they were able to do that and keep the actor
the
secret.
dude, yeah.
all this fucking time. Like, because that's tough. Like, that means that means you already started casting mutants. Because I know they're not gonna reuse all those other niggas.
That's a fact.
Because that's
They should reuse a few of them.
Wolverine.
that nigga's
Wolverine.
done.
If
Hugh
they
Hackman was like, I'm fucking done.
If they can get a Cyclops,
They need Michael Fassbender to be Magneto.
Please.
That nigga was a very good Magneto.
Please.
what, the OG Magneto?
No, the younger one.
The young dude.
The young dude could play a
That
good
nigga was-
Magneto.
that
for
was
Are
a
you
now.
talking
great-
about the wasn't he in Glass or something like
Yeah.
that? That guy? He's
No,
not
no, no,
that.
not
No,
him.
no,
Not
no, no. That was Professor
Magneto.
X. Magneto.
The other dude with
Magneto.
the
Who's
black
Magneto?
hair and the Eric nigga. Like,
Yeah, Eric Leshner.
I'm trying
I
to.
can't not remember.
His name is
his
Michael
face.
Fassbender, but he did a pretty good job at Magneto.
No, he was
Can't remember his face.
Magneto, bro. Like, that nigga was wilding. But no, like, I like that. I think, you know what? I think Quicksilver literally made history. He's the only person to appear, like, ever. Because usually once Marvel takes you, like, they recast that shit.
That also tells you that
Mhm.
they exist. Also, Quicksilver. I didn't even mention Quicksilver.
Like, they recast.
But that's what I'm
So,
saying. Like,
I
even
do
J.
feel
Jonah
like
Jameson,
Quicksilver.
right? The J. Jonah Jameson being in Far From Home. And he's way aged up.
Quicksilver's part of the X-Men, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's a part of the Brotherhood of Mutants.
No. At that time,
At that point, yeah.
he's
he
part of
was.
the X-Men.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Days of Future Past explained a lot of shit.
The only
Explained that they
the
changed
only-
the timeline.
The only issue with that, because I mean, like, they left enough room for you to speculate. He never mentions anything about mutants. He does mention the XY gene, and he mentions, you know, about growing up with Wanda and all that shit, but they never mention anything else. Because I mean, if he was a mutant this entire fucking time,
He would have made him. He would have mentioned like
something.
Wolverine,
Exactly.
somebody. He would have made like a joke about somebody that he.
but he
like,
made
would've
sure, like,
remembered.
his entire thing is just specifically with Wanda, their childhood memories that she doesn't have, but he does have. Like,
But we gotta wait.
Wait,
yeah, we need a little more information.
Going back
first.
to the scroll theory, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Scrolls don't necessarily take. They do get your memories, don't they?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
gain memories, but they can also alter them how they see fit. No,
They can't alter someone else's memory though.
not someone else's, but the memory that they are in. So if I say I'm walking down the street one day and I seen this and that, this and the third, and you say something else, they can alter those memories and make you believe that you were in a situation you weren't necessarily in. Especially
they
in,
have that power. They have that influence.
especially,
No, I'm asking you. Do they have that
No,
influence?
I'm not saying that they have that influence. What I'm saying is, especially in Wanda's situation, where she's already ignorant to a situation, they can trick her into doing anything, literally.
Yeah. They
Based
could.
on her influencing herself to think that their memories
that's
are
It could
more
be. It could
correct.
be. It could be.
You understand what I'm
definitely.
saying?
No. I get.
You
Yeah,
know
that's
what I'm saying?
perfect. But at the same time, like that. Yeah, but it could be a scroll. It could be. Well, I do believe there's a scroll fucking with her.
Yeah.
But
No,
I
100%
don't
there's a
know
Skrull.
if it's Quicksilver.
I believe
The
it's
only
Hayward.
reason why I don't think it's Quicksilver is because
I'm gonna tell you what I believe. I believe that part
I don't know.
of Quicksilver coming back is Agnes.
Mhm.
Agnes is using Quicksilver for Wanda, and she's using herself for Vision. That's what I feel like. Because I mean, they need somebody to watch over Wanda, and who's better than the
I
person that
think-
she lost?
If I'm gonna be real, I think Quicksilver is Ralph, quote unquote.
Exactly. That's what I'm
Whoever
saying.
Ralph is that she keeps bringing up that we never see. She keeps talking about her husband named Ralph.
Oh wait, you also said something in the beginning that's real important, right?
What's up?
When she expanded, she made everyone look different way.
Mhm.
So who's to say that she can't necessarily make a person be another person?
Wanda can't.
You don't think so?
Nah, she can't. They retain looking like how they look.
Yeah.
She just changes aesthetics and shit about them. Like she
Yeah.
can put makeup on you and make you look like a clown.
Oh,
you
you
still gonna
positive?
look like
Yeah,
yourself.
you still gonna be
I'm
you
positive.
though.
I'm positive.
All that shit makes
I'm
no sense to
positive.
me at the end of the day.
It
But
does make
here we go.
sense.
Here
Go
we
ahead.
go.
No, go ahead.
All that shit tells me her powers, she can alter time and reality, right?
Yeah, she's a
space time
reality
reality,
warper.
all that
Mhm.
shit. Space time reality, quote unquote, light in that sense, right? All appearances are light. So if she can alter
She
those
can't.
type
She
of
can't bend
things-
it that far. Because
Yeah.
I feel like if she could bend it that far, when she like said no about the beekeeper, he would have turned into somebody else. She
Yeah.
just rewinded the whole fucking shit back.
Yeah, her
and, like,
powers
and
doesn't
got
go
him out of
that
there.
far.
Or like when
yet.
she didn't like Monica, she could have just changed Monica to somebody else.
Yeah, she could have recasted
expelled her.
Monica.
There's certain people that get the fuck out of there.
Bro, I get what you're saying, but I just really think that her power can probably be that strong at a point. But I don't think it is right now.
Yeah, I don't think it manifested
she's
to
not
that
in
level.
that. I don't think she's that much in distress yet.
She got her powers from the Mind Stone, bro.
But it's
Perspective is everything. What you see is everything. She's altering how you see things.
not.
But, I mean,
not
she's-
not that much. And I know there's rules to it, because if she was altering what people see when they was watching it on the outside, they wouldn't see it exactly as it's going down.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? She cuts
it's-
parts,
in
but
my
she
mind-
never changes.
In my mind, she's capable of anything. Because honestly, if she can make kids exist, she can bring people into existence, she can cover up her whole existence.
Well, I don't know if she made kids exist yet. I'm not sure if she made kids. She might have kidnapped kids, like literally influenced kids to like come into the spot
And
take control of them.
I
I do believe there's another force
no,
helping
there's someone
in this
enhancing
situation. Somebody
And I feel
else
like-
is doing some
I
shit,
feel like
throwing
every-
some shit in there.
So
Like-
basically, to me, this is part Wanda and
Jamal,
part.
you might be right though about somebody has the power to switch shit. Only because
That's what I'm
the
saying.
stork magic couldn't work on the stork. It just came out of nowhere, and then the bitch just disappeared. Then Pietro like kind of just comes out of nowhere. Then like somebody has the ability to turn things into something else.
This is literally. That's what I'm saying.
It
Going
could
back,
be Mephisto. It could be
this
like
going-
Nightmare. It could
going
be
back,
mad shit.
Going back to the fucking commercial with the shark, that is incredibly fucking important. There's an outside source, just like Jamal brought up, and like I said, I feel like that's Mephisto, only
Mhm.
because we're getting him. We know for a fact we're
It's
getting
something predatory.
We're getting this nigga in fucking Doctor Strange too. We know they already said like that's the villain and shit.
it has to happen, yeah.
Yeah, that's a fact. So to me, he has to be a part of this, and it's just what is his end goal for Wanda? He's definitely influencing. He's influencing her to do something that he wants and making it seem like it's her idea.
Yeah.
Like literally like a puppet master.
I
Like
bet-
she believes like, hey, I want kids. But why does she want kids? She spent the first 3 episodes doing the talent show for kids in a city that has no kids.
Yeah.
Why does Mephisto want the kids? Because he
So,
wants a body.
to
And I
get to,
think
yeah.
so. My whole point
So you
in
think
the,
it's it,
in
go
the-
ahead,
my
Cole.
whole thing in the first shit was it's a hexagon. Hexagon. Can you draw a pentagram in a hexagon? So I'm thinking it's like literally like Agnes might be doing some type
like
of
on spell.
ritual.
Yeah.
Like over on the town. She'd probably try to get some cult shit popping to like raise Mephisto or raise some type of evil entity.
Mhm.
That entity needs Billy and Tommy's soul or their bodies to get out, which is like breaking the seal. Like I believe that they needed Wanda's power to put enough juice in the spot
Exactly.
so that they could probably summon what they want to summon.
'Cause
And
if
I
we-
believe
if-
that that's Agnes.
If we try to fill in those blanks when just like we brought up with Shuri having Vision, and then somehow that ended up in Sword,
Mhm.
and then Wanda kidnaps Vision,
Mhm.
and then when they asked them, yo, where do you come from? Like, what do you remember? And they're both like, I don't remember anything.
Mhm.
And then when she was talking with Pietro, She was like, all I remember is black. I don't remember. It's just darkness and being alone. So maybe when she got Vision, she got intercepted too.
Mm-hmm.
And wherever they took those two, they put them under whatever spell, and they've been working her to bring back Vision to get her to get whatever they're trying to get, which is the kids for the body of Mephisto.
Or the body of somebody else. But I know it's something nefarious and magical.
Nah, it's a
that
fact.
Yo
Because
Magic commercial,
remember when we was watching Loki and
and
the stained glass?
Stained glass.
That's what I'm
we
saying.
kept talking about it. It's a red
there's
demon.
A point.
It's a red demon sitting on like a throne.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's Mephisto.
Yeah.
And
nobody else it could be.
And I'm thinking like now Mephisto is mad big on like just going around and like kind of giving people deals to give them powers and shit, and then like fucking shit over and like getting more power for himself so that he could kind of take over like our world.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just see this all setting up. Like Far From Home like now makes a lot more sense, especially like the ending. Like I just remember like being like, this kind of don't make sense why they would just bring back J. Jonah Jameson, right? And he would just be like, Spider-Man's a murderer, like on his Fox News shit.
No, because like we said, like that all connects. That whole shit with the Morbius, Spider-Man being confused. A murderer on the poster. Because we were always like, yo, why would they have the Toby on the fucking poster of the Morbius movie that's supposed to be connected to the Spider-Verse?
And not only that, they had my man fucking hit the super flip through the Baxter building where the Fantastic Four is supposed to be. And like now in my head, I'm just like, oh shit, I think he came back during the Hex. Yeah. Like I did think he like landed back in New York after his trip during the Hex, and like now he's about to see how different shit is like around there. And
we just need literally how many more episodes we got? Like 3?
3, I think. Or 2.
I feel like whatever theory that we have, those
11 or
3
10 episodes.
Yeah, I think it's like 9 or some shit total.
9?
Yeah, and we're on like episode 6.
We're on 6. Yeah.
So yeah, like I would think within those 3 episodes, whatever theory we have, because we got like 10 of them shits, we're gonna be able to flesh out one that's probably 100% right. Like we're just missing like a little bit of fucking information to like prove some of them shits correct. I
feel like the next episode we're gonna figure out what happened to Pietro after she blasted him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're gonna figure out like that's dead, like not him. Like that's not him.
I want to see what happened.
And
to
I
Darcy.
also believe that Agnes sacrificed their dog for some shit.
100%. 100%. I feel like that dog played a role because the dog was able to sense.
He was even knowing shit.
Why was the dog able to sense the fucking camera?
Also, apparently in the comic books, in the Vision run, when Vision creates his own family, that dog named Sparky is some demon shit. Like that dog is literally some demonic shit. Like
so it's part of the whole setup.
Yeah, it's part of like the whole.
I wouldn't
like,
be surprised
setup.
if that was all part of Agnes too, because like we brought up, she came in at the perfect fucking time with the doghouse for the dog that she didn't even know existed until like she just got there.
Okay, super duper theory could be that Hayward works for AIM or Hydra, and he could be a Skrull, but he might have been a Skrull that did a deal with Mephisto, and he's working with Agnes to try to get Mephisto up. And like Mephisto, I guess somehow promised him to get him Vision. I'm guessing. Like I think Vision is part of some type of deal because they need Vision.
Yeah, they definitely need him for something. And
like in my mind is like, what do they need Vision for? Because even like at the end of that episode, when Vision was trying to get out, Hayward was standing there. He was like, "Oh, he really wants out."
Yeah, he wasn't helping him.
He didn't even do nothing. He didn't help him.
Like Darcy was like, "What are you doing?"
And in my mind, now I know that Hayward doesn't need Vision alive. He just wants Vision's body.
Yeah.
Like he literally wants to do something.
That's why
right?
That's why I said he's AIM, because they want the tech.
Yeah, they want the technology. They dead want the technology.
Because they were already experimenting on him before Wanda pulled up and took him. So they want this body for something.
Here's a little quick theory that I also have. So Hayward could either be in the process of trying to make Sentinels because the X-Men are coming, or he could be working with AIM and they could be just trying to mass produce synthesoids like Vision, so that they can have something to protect humans from superpowered people. Because he has like a lot of beef with the heroes. Like
I
I
fuck with
remember
that.
when he said something about Wanda, he was just like, you don't know what to Monica when he was like, you don't know how fucking hard it was all these years without these
And-
heroes and,
and
shit
that
after
would-
the
that
book.
will
So
also-
they're trying to make sure that the X-Men is packed on right now. I feel it.
I
Yeah.
feel I fuck with that theory only because you just reminded me of the fucking video game, bro.
Yeah.
Like the whole idea of the whole synthezoid, and that also connects into you wanting fucking Iron Man back.
Yeah,
because
do it.
one of his biggest beefs was he wanted a fucking iron shit around the world. And
Yeah.
that's why he created the
He wanted
Iron
the
Legion.
shield.
Mhm.
So these would be a more advanced version of the
I
Iron
can't wait
Legion.
for Armor Wars.
That too. So all these shits feel like they all somehow
Yo,
fucking.
Jamal,
we got a theory working in here somewhere, bro.
I think they might bring our boy Tony back as a voice in the helmets, and I
I
think
feel like
Rhodey might
there's
have
a
to fight a
fucking-
bunch of Tony voiced Iron Man
Yeah,
robots.
yeah.
I mean, that'd be
With
hard, but
Riri,
Yeah, yeah,
that shit's gonna be hard.
bro.
they need to bring Tony
Bro.
back. Tony gonna come back and end all this shit.
They
You'll see
need
the
to
light
something
appear in
insane.
the,
Yo,
the
dead ass.
background. This nigga walking through the light. You're just gonna be like, who the
Oh,
fuck?
who the
is
fuck
that?
is that? And he's gonna be like, hey, what do you guys doing out here?
Yeah, you know how he like
you guys,
move
you guys,
his hands.
you guys seem like you guys need some help.
You seem like you
Wasn't
seen the
there-
ghost.
I don't know if y'all watched some of the deleted scenes, but there was some deleted scenes that made it seem like he might actually come back.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean,
I just feel like
I think
the
they're
actor
trying to do.
himself-
They're trying to keep it open ended
Yeah,
in a way
In
where it
case he
will be
decides
like.
to.
I think what I'm saying and what you're saying is gonna be both. It's gonna be a way where they're
They're
gonna
gonna
be
try to
like
tie it
he's
in.
gonna be a voice, and then they're gonna make like a hologram Tony that's gonna talk to the Avengers and help them and shit, and then the technology is gonna get crazy
Hey,
and he
you
might
can
get a
shoot
body.
even farther, right? That whole AIM situation where they're using a vision body, they use that tech to create
a
a
So
new
synthesizer
make
body
a
version
new
of
body
Tony.
for Tony, and now you got a synthesoid Tony.
that also use the
Hold
Iron
on.
Man suits. Whenever
And
he
then
wants
they
to.
have, and if I don't know if y'all read that comic book run where they gave Tony powers and he had just had control over all technology.
Everything. Yes,
It's possible.
It's possible.
that's literally
Wasn't
Ultron.
that sort of Vision's powers too?
That is what Ultron was doing, and that
Mhm.
was Vision's power also.
It's a lot of
They can do it.
possibilities, bro.
What is it called? Technopath.
Yeah, Technopath.
Yeah, it's a lot of different
That's
possibilities,
crazy.
bro.
And then honestly, if they bring the X-Men, I know they're gonna try to do the Powers of X, House of X type of shit.
Yeah.
Where like the X-Men are gonna beef with humanity, and then the
Mhm.
Avengers are gonna have to. There's
we're
gonna
gonna-
be an
we're-
Avengers versus X-Men
X-Men.
movie.
Yeah,
We're
that's
literally gonna
100%.
get an Avengers
So
versus
that's
X-Men movie.
100%
Wait,
gonna
how many
happen.
movies do they have in rotation right now? What are they trying to?
They're
do?
gonna have a
They
lot.
got so
They got
much
a
shit
lot.
going
They got
on, bro.
Shang-Chi is coming.
Well,
Yeah,
over 10 years probably, right?
Yeah.
bro. Yeah,
that
bro.
nigga Kevin Feige's brain, son. Like that nigga's definitely in like 399 or some shit.
And we not even, and we're so stuck on this magic shit. Niggas not even talking about like Quantum Mania, which is also gonna be fucking insane.
One thing they
which is
did bring
another
up-
reason why I don't believe everyone is gonna be classified as mutants. Because remember Ant-Man's the nigga's wife was stuck in the quantum realm.
Yeah,
And then
Yeah,
when
she
she
had
came out,
powers.
she came out with powers.
The healing powers, yeah.
And I truly believe that that's why I don't think Richard is in WandaVision. I think the Fantastic Four is going to be in Quantum Mania, and they're going to probably travel to the quantum realm. That's how they're going to get their powers.
Well, no, see, that's the thing. I didn't think that he was going to have his powers. I just felt like the cookie crumb theory
True,
of
true.
how they introduce people,
True.
and then it's like, oh, I'm familiar with him.
that shit
Why is he in quantum?
that shit only
quantum,
doesn't make sense with me because like they're literally telling us that like going through the shit could change people.
Okay, so
So maybe
Well,
yeah,
he's
maybe
not-
he can't show up, go
Yeah, that's
through
what
it
I'm saying.
once,
Well,
and then go to the Quantum Mania.
Well,
and then,
see,
I
that's
don't
the
know.
thing. I don't think none of my Reed Richards thing is
It's just a
about
random.
powers.
It's just the
He's
face.
just showing because
It's me. I'm a genius.
because
Okay,
remember
so
she
here's what-
said
here's what- go ahead.
yeah, she said she wants to just meet this person that can help her
Okay,
figure
true,
that
true,
shit
true,
out.
True.
That's his brain
Yeah,
working
his brain,
in
him
that.
being
Yeah,
a genius.
That has nothing to do with his power ability, his abilities that he can possibly get in the quantum realm. I do feel like that's going to happen eventually, but they're not just going to bring because so far they haven't just brought in new people without explaining who the fuck this person is.
I like.
Okay, so
I like
here's
Jamal's
what we
reach,
know.
man.
Here's
I
what
wanted
we
to be
know.
Tony Stark.
Hey, I really do
Alive,
want
nigga. Alive, like
nigga-
with a
that-
fucked up arm. Like
That
Hey,
nigga is
It's
gone.
even,
up, y'all?
even from an no, he's not. Even from an alternative reality, because think about it.
Okay.
You know where I'm going?
I think I know where you're
Go
going.
ahead,
Let's
Captain
see, let's see,
America.
let's see,
Old
go ahead.
Captain America exists in this
go ahead.
universe with young Captain America.
No,
You hear me?
I feel like I know where he's going because they did bring up, like, before Marvel blew up, one of the main things that they were working on was Tom Cruise was actually supposed to be fucking Iron Man.
Yeah.
That was a big thing for them. And then they also talked about that they were trying to get the movie was going to be really ambitious because they were going to reach out to certain people that might not be the person that you know, but a version of that person.
Oh.
So it's
So it
possible
could
that
be
we
a
do
split
get
up of-
we do get an
Tony.
Iron Man, but it's not Robert Downey.
Necessarily.
We
Yeah,
can get his brother. That would be even better.
exactly.
It could be.
It's
Because
possible.
remember, his brother was mad rich, mad smart, like nigga.
But wait, from the comic I was reading, he wasn't sick or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I mean, like I said, I
And
feel
he
like
mad
was the
shit.
actual. Oh,
You're
my God,
gonna-
it was
They
so
can do
much-
mad shit.
I feel like it's all right.
It's
so
possible.
I'm kind of buying into the Kool-Aid now. So I do feel like we gonna get it's possible that we get Iron Man. It's just not Robert.
It might not
Yeah.
be exactly who we want, but it was
I think that would be
true.
a good Easter egg of like, yeah, like all that shit that we were doing before that was terrible ideas, like making Tom Cruise fucking Iron Man. He does exist in a universe somewhere. He does exist because if the movie is literally called the Multiverse of Madness, that means anything that ever happened in Marvel is
They-
possible.
Gamora also.
I would love to have Gamora back. Like, I mean, I felt like they didn't do
I
enough
mean, she
with her
is
role.
back.
Well, yeah, you know what I
But
mean.
this is what I'm saying. But
Other
Jamal,
version.
this is also what I'm saying. Young Cap and old Cap technically exist on the same
They do.
timeline.
They fucking do.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
remember when he came back, he was the old nigga. He was like, "Where you been all this time?" That nigga was with Peggy while Captain America was fighting Ultron
Yeah.
and all that shit.
Like that. There's a running theory. There's a running theory with.
there's a lot.
Alternate cat.
Yeah.
Cat.
There's a
There
running.
can literally be.
There. All right. Well, you. There's
I
an
think I just
alternate
fucked my own
version.
mind up.
There's
There is an alternate Tony technically.
there literally.
There is.
Yeah. No, there is. If you want to.
Because the Tony that had the daughter.
If we go through time travel right now, we'd be here all day.
Look, this is also what I wanted to bring up before. You was tying it in, but here's the extra information that we have. Quantum realm. The Infinity Gauntlet, all the stones and shit like that, right? Wanda.
And not only that, but if I do recall, Tony cracked time travel on his own, right?
Oh yeah, I
Endgame.
saw
Hold
that.
on, hold on,
It was
hold
a
on.
quick.
He
Yeah.
solved it. I think he tested it on himself before he even came to the Avengers and was like, "Yo, I have time travel." And I think it might be
could've.
another Tony somewhere. There could be
It's
another
possible.
Tony somewhere.
It's possible. No, it's 100% possible.
And
It's
that's
100%
very
possible.
insane to me because if I think we might be being too ambitious, but at the same time,
I know we are, but this is good content. Keep going.
Good content.
Tony literally does everything behind people's back.
That's a fact.
He does do
Everything.
Yep.
And like he'll have mad residual plans no matter what. I truly believe there's somewhere where Tony time traveled back, kind of figured that he can't fuck himself up in like time. So he was like, I'm gonna go exist somewhere and do some shit. And when niggas really need me, I'm gonna just pop up.
I think the only
Like on some Nick Fury shit, like on some Agent Coulson shit. Like
So
niggas
here's
be
my
faking out their
here's-
deaths all the time.
Here's my only issue with that.
What's up?
The only loophole in that theory is Doctor Strange went and he saw every fucking possibility ever. He's the literal
He saw
master.
every possibility ever on that dimension.
For that
You gotta remember
moment.
that.
Because
He didn't
For
see
that
every-
moment. For
Okay.
them to beat Thanos.
Okay.
Did he look further?
Okay. You got that. The only reason I see an issue with it is because if Tony knows what's going to happen before it happens,
Okay.
then it might not happen
Yeah.
because that's how they play time.
But
in
Why did
if-
Doctor
Endgame.
Strange
But
not
it
know that
might
Captain
have to
America would
happen
stay
for
back in the
everyone else to
past?
survive, and that was the whole
But
point.
I don't know if he didn't know that. He never mentioned. He literally only looked at their.
That's the thing. He's leaving shit way too open ended.
That's
Like you
what's-
got to tell us that you know that the Gamora would have came back from this time, and other Shorty would have came back from that time. Like I get that when we got to that moment and he hit Tony with the this is the fucking Tom. I'm not sure if he banked
on Tony time traveling and displacing himself somewhere while still kind of like I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we're being too ambitious, but I also believe
know,
that
I'm good with
Tony
the
is that
ambitious
smart.
because Tony is that smart and he is that fail safe backup to the backup to the backup type plan. The only other issue I have is I just don't feel like Robert wants to do it.
That's true.
I feel like he's fucking done. Like 20 years of this shit. He's just like Hugh Jackman. Like I gave y'all niggas 20 years of hits. That's all I got. Like that's why I felt like everybody else's contract. Like Chris Evans is in talks to fucking come back. Like,
I mean, yeah.
I don't even know where he fits in that anymore.
That's true.
Because he's old cap. I mean, we can still use old cap with sword.
No. You saying Chris Evans is coming back in the Captain America, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna play whatchamacallit?
Old cap.
No. It's
Nomad?
No. What's the other shit he was in? He's gonna be his original role that he was playing before. What was it? The four people. What's that group called? Fantastic Four. There we go.
You know what? That'd be kind of ill. I did not think of that.
Fantastic Four.
That would make sense.
Imagine they recast him like that.
That
would because of Wanda.
Like
that would make sense. So? That would make
They're
sense.
recasting him like that.
That would make sense for him to appear in like the multiverse of madness as himself from the Fox. That would blow my fucking brain, bro. You just blew my fucking mind with that.
Crazy.
Oh shit.
That shit will fuck me up.
I'm telling you, he's coming back.
Yeah,
but maybe that's
probably why they spent so much time. Like Feige wanted this series to be first for a reason, because after this, anything is fucking possible. Like they can literally do whatever the fuck they want and just blame it on Wanda. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Like I mean, I've been so focused on him being Cap. I did not think of him as.
Did you like any of the other Fantastic Fours? Did you like the Black Fantastic Four?
Nah, that shit was whack. Sorry. Don't bring that back. Let that go.
His character as Fantastic Four fit the best.
I think it did fit. Okay,
so
that would be dope. But I do think that they're gonna recast.
Yeah, we're gonna have a young.
As I think he might be the Cap that like. Remember after the shit where he didn't have his powers no more and he just was running S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah,
I think that's what they're gonna do with Chris Evans. He's gonna basically be like the Nick Fury type of nigga. I feel
like he's either gonna take that role or he's gonna
be
go.
Like, they might make him like the nigga that's like gonna be the next nigga in control of the shit.
Or like I said, he's definitely gonna go the whole sword route. Like to me, like I feel like they left that open because unless they're bringing him back for like a solo series to explain what he did with all the fucking gems at the end of Endgame.
What did they need Captain America for?
That's what I'm saying. So like if they're gonna bring him back, because I mean the talks were official. Like it's either gonna be in a mini series, like I said about like them explaining the gems because they plan to use that somehow in future series, and him doing that helps set the foundation for whatever they plan to do based on the gems, or Colton's theory earlier, or like I said, he's old man Cap and sword. Nope. Other than that, I don't see the reason.
Four.
I don't think he's going to be a permanent like Johnny Storm though. Maybe for the cameo shit, but the way they were talking, it wasn't like he was doing a cameo. It's like this nigga's back. Like he's actually going to be around. So I don't know. But yeah, like
I mean, they never need to meet necessarily. I don't remember a time where Captain America and Fantastic Four were like. At least I don't remember.
I mean, I feel like that's tough only because it's like they're both in New York. Spider-Man bounces back and forth between these niggas.
All meet. They all met before.
I just feel like
they're talking to each other.
Well, actually, the Avengers and Fantastic Four kind of got beef.
Here's my thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's how I know this is a possibility. Green Lantern. That's it.
What? Ryan Reynolds?
Yes.
Yeah, but they recasted the Green Lantern.
Yeah.
The thing about that shit is about with Chris Evans, right? He can definitely they definitely can recast him back as the Human Torch, but I don't think
I don't see
Marvel.
that. It's not a permanent.
I don't think Marvel
they're not going to do
sees
that.
that as a very big like. Unless they really do it on some multiverse of madness.
That's
type
what I
shit,
feel
that'd
like
be
is going to
dope.
happen.
That'd be fucking dope.
I feel like it's for the cameo use. They'll use him like, oh shit, that connects too.
But they can't like cast him as the new like.
Nah,
Human
he's not
Torch.
gonna.
'Cause
Yeah, he's
then,
not gonna
like,
take that role now.
If they
at
do
his
bring
big
him
age.
back in the future,
Where would
and
y'all
doing
accept it?
something in the multiverse of madness? Him
Yeah,
as the
Accept it.
Human
yeah,
Torch.
100%.
Him as the
Series or
Human
movie?
Torch in the what do you
Series
mean?
or a movie? Like
if for bringing Cat
Fantastic
back,
Four?
series, yeah, no. You talking about series or a movie? Yeah, which one?
I would want. If I was bringing
In a movie. In a movie.
for me, I would
You
do
want a
the.
movie.
Yeah, like if I wanted to see Chris Evans as the Human Torch, I want to see him do that as in
You
a
want to
movie.
see him fully do it? Okay.
Like in a movie.
Yeah.
In the multiverse of madness, if they was
Yeah.
to like randomly have the Fantastic Four.
That would be a
and,
great
like,
way to connect.
He was the Human Torch while, and I definitely would want to
yeah,
see that.
that would make sense
because
because
he was
they don't.
an asshole. He was mad funny.
Yeah,
like,
they don't have anything that
He was
connects
cool as shit.
the Fantastic Four. We have all these X-Men references, but nothing with the Fantastic Four. So that would make sense as a
It
way
would
to
connect it.
Yeah. So, yeah, we have like a ton of fucking theories, and I feel like we'd have 10,000 more within the next 3 episodes. So, if you've been enjoying this episode,
Facts.
this is like our Joe Button episode. This shit is, I don't even know how many hours
We're
this
gonna
shit
do
is.
this shit in 2 parts.
All right, before you wrap, any worthies?
Hey man, WandaVision and our theories, all 50 of our theories.
That's a fucking fact.
First of all, Marvel hire us, please.
That's a fucking fact. Yeah, so this has been another issue of the Mighty Metahumans podcast, providing you with high quality nerd commentary. Please subscribe, tell a friend, leave a review. We appreciate all that shit. You can find me on every social media site as Old Dirty Dennis. You can find my man Colton.
I'm on Twitter as the Night Deviant.
Night Deviant.
And on every other social media as the Colton Show and thecoltonshow.com. And I'll be streaming, y'all. Come on Twitch, twitch.tv/the Colton Show.
That's a fact. All right, send us home. Give us a quote. Give us something.
You're dead! Dead! Dead!
Who said it?
Agnes, nigga, she's a fucking witch, guys.
We out.